Vinton County won the coin toss, elected to receive, and will defend the south goal. Vinton County football, Vikings on your feet, welcome them.
Yeah, it was.
Welcome everybody into BMG Media Vinton County's coverage of Viking football. Week number 4. Nathan Lamb here alongside my partner Brad Rose. And tonight's game is the Vikings open. Maybe one of these two teams to be that team that can overtake the Buckeyes this season, and it starts off with a win here in week 4.
Yeah, I mean, Meigs, don't sleep on Meigs yet. I know a lot of people are hyped about what Vinton County is supposed to be this year, but Meigs is legit. They're going to be down a few starters tonight, but they're still going to be explosive on offense. You're going to see some things here at Vinton County you hadn't seen on this field yet this season as far as offensively, and they're still one of those dark horses to make some noise in the TVC.
Absolutely. So Meigs so far this season started out against Gallia Academy, who is 3-0 on the year, 44-7 loss in week 1. Came back and beat Belpre, who was 0-3 on the season, 50-0 on the road. This is their 3rd road game in a row, as last week they fell at Cole Grove by a score 61-34. Brad, that was, I believe, 45-34 late in the 3rd quarter before Cole Grove kind of ran away with that. Now, Brad, we've seen Cole Grove in the preseason, and we know they're a pretty good football team. Cole Grove 3-0 on the season. So for Meigs to be able to come out offensively and play that well against Cole Grove, you got to expect them to kind of come out with that same firepower against the Vikings.
Absolutely. They looked good through the first half, and then they lost their starting tailback in Conley Burnham, number 3, and they just didn't look quite as explosive in that second half. But I'm telling you, don't sleep on this offense. They got some monsters on the line that are big, and they can do some things on the edge, and that sometimes gives us some difficulties on defense.
Yes, so for Meigs, you'll see a familiar name under center. We all know Coulter Cleland's 4-year reign at Meigs and how great of a quarterback he was. Younger brother, Griffin Cleland, under center for the Meigs Marauders tonight. So definitely a quarterback runs in the family.
It does, and he's got an arm just like his brother, and he's a little bit more of a threat to run, in my opinion.
So as we get set for kickoff here tonight in Week 4, the opening conference game for Vinton County and Meigs tonight, we want to thank our sponsors, Adena Health Systems, BCR, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision Masonry, Strickland Sales and Service for tonight's sponsorship. We appreciate all of our sponsors as we get set to kick this one off, Brad.
Nathan, this might be one of the larger kickers I've seen in the TVC here. This fella right here, and I've seen him on film. He's a heck of an athlete, but that is a large individual kicking the ball there tonight.
Yes. Not sure I've seen. Of course, anybody can have a strong leg, but yeah,
this kid can kick. Don't let his size fool you.
So as we wait kickoff here. Rashke in motion, and we've got flags on the play. And it's going to be an offsides on Meigs. They jumped when Rashke went into motion. 20 yards and penalties tonight so far from the Meigs Marauders, and we're less than 2 minutes into the game, Brad.
Well,
from Meigs.
At least it's not on our side yet. You know, that's something we talked about post-game last week about cleaning up those penalties, and right now we're taking advantage of penalties against Meigs.
So 2nd down, 5 now for the Vikings. And they're going to run out of the tee again as we're down to 10:57 left, first quarter here, week 4. And they're going to call.
It's us this time.
Ratchke gets called for crowd making some noise here on the Viking side. There's a pitch to Ratchke. Nice cut there by Ratchke. He's across the 50 and knocked out of bounds at the 46. So a nice gain there for Ratchke. A nice cut back there, Brad. How important is that vision to see when you need to cut in or when you can take it to the edge?
Very important, and it's good to see Gabe get something going early in this game. He's been kind of stale so far this season. He just hasn't had a whole bunch of carries and hasn't been able to do a whole lot yet.
This sets up a big 3rd down and 5 for Vinton County. The ball's at the 46-yard line. Vikings on the ground so far.
3rd down, 5. Vinton County from the Meigs 46-yard line.
Vikings in the tee.
Pass here?
I don't think so. And we've got a free 1st down. As the penalty is on Meigs. Again, biting on that wing tee motion by Ratchke for the 2nd time. And this is an offense that I don't believe Meigs has seen so far this season.
No, going back through who they played, I doubt they have seen this style of offense.
So that gives the Vikings a 1st down. The ball is now at the 40.
1st down and 10.
4 penalties so far in the game, 3 on Meigs and 1 on us. That's
more indicative of a week 1 game.
Yes.
This time Hembry's in motion, and the fake pitch. Now there's a toss to Ashton Allman, and just underthrown.
We might have had something on that play had it not gotten blown up.
Allman was wide open, but the Meigs Marauders were in the backfield. Didn't get faked on the pitch.
No.
The defense was right there.
The DN was 3 steps into the backfield, and he read the play well.
So the Vikings have attempted the first pass of the game tonight, Brad, at the 9:50 mark in the 1st quarter.
I'm all about it, Nathan.
Now the Vikings come out in the shotgun. Holohan keeps it himself, trying to follow his blockers, and he does. The middle across the 30, the 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown.
Baby.
Zeke Mullahan.
That's what I'm talking about right there, Nathan.
Following the block by Garrett Brown, and Mullahan is in the end zone with 9:41 to go in the 1st quarter, and the Vikings strike first, Brad. How important is that?
That's very important. We're going to set the pace right here. Offense looking good so far on this possession. Let's keep it up.
Zeke Mullahan following that block from.
Looked good. Had a defender on his hip and pretty much half that run, and then just separate himself from him.
Again, Garrett Brown, if he's not running the ball, Brad, he's lead blocking. He does a great job downfield. As the snaps back, kicks up, and the kick is good from Abram. And the Vikings now lead 7-0 here early in the 1st quarter, 9:41 to go. Again, we'll read over our sponsors here: Adena Health Systems, BCR, SF Restoration, Precision Masonry, Strickland Sales and Service. And we appreciate all of the support here.
Yeah, without them, we couldn't do this.
For BMG, we put on pretty good production, Brad.
I think so. I might be a little biased.
I think it's okay to be a little biased.
Yeah.
So the Vikings up early.
Feels good. Feels good to have a lead early.
This is the first game of the season where the Vikings strike first, Brad.
Gotta mean good things, right?
Kicking off for the Vikings is number 35.
Now, what's interesting, I really want to see the defense here. Meigs might present some things that we haven't seen since week 1. You know, a little more spread, 3 and 4 wide outs. I know they're starting tailbacks out, who was a real threat. We'll see what they do in his place. I don't know who they got starting in his place, but I'm anxious to see what the defense does here.
So the kick is to the corner, and it's picked up by an up back, and up the sideline and down was 35, Wade Howard.
That's a good starting position. Good.
Take over near midfield. Early score update. Nelsonville York leads River Valley 6-0 in the TVC Ohio. That's all we have so far. So the Meigs Marauders, smart play for Griffin to just fall on the ball and not try to pick it up. He did have some room, but usually that turns out a little worse.
I think early, had that hopped up, he planned on grabbing it and trying to maybe get out of there, but once it went 7 or 8 yards deep, he was done.
So good fortune for the Vikings now. It'll be 2nd and long for Meigs. And if we thought they were going to pass before, Brad, I'm pretty sure we're going to see it in the air here.
Yeah, we're going to see it in the air.
Meigs with 4 wide receivers, and there's a pitch to Clinton. It's a fumble,
no,
and it's recovered by the Vikings. Owen Higher, as they tried to run the option play.
Well, that's just a bad series of events for Meigs there. You know, the wheels kind of fell off over early. We've got to take advantage of this opportunity right here, Nathan.
The Vikings will take over on the 24-yard line with 8:48 to go.
Again, they're starting tailback, only Burnham's out. There was probably a little bit of, they're not used to probably pitching it to 7 there. I'm not sure who 7 is. 7?
Logan Eskew.
Eskew.
Another senior. So we'll see if the Vikings can take advantage of the turnover by Meigs. Ratchke's in motion. And they're going to throw over to Hembry. And he's got a nice setup there.
Nice.
Hembry around the end, down to the 10-5, and he's in. And the Vikings take advantage like that.
I've said it all season. If you can get Hembry or Habron on the edge and get them a running start, they're lethal.
8:39 to go, Brad, and we pick up another score. It's 13-0. And how much of this do you put up to the fact that they are missing about 5 starters tonight, Brad?
I'm sure it hurts. It's only helping us, and you know, this thing is kind of snowballed. I wouldn't say out of control yet, but a little downhill for us.
There's a snap and the kick is good, and the Vikings lead 14-0 with 8:39 to go in the first quarter here from Vinton County High School. In this week 1 of TVC Ohio play.
Anytime you got 5 starters missing, you're going to have some miscommunication things. You know, just 3 days of practice this week, trying to get people familiar with positions and backups, you know, more familiar, get more reps. You're going to have some issues, and you're seeing it early in this game.
We'll check around the area and see if we can find some more early score updates.
I'd say there's a few local games going on. They're checking this score and thinking it's probably a mistake.
So Valley Indians lead Eastern Pike 7-0 in the first quarter there. Portsmouth up on Rock Hill 7-0 early in the first. Miami Trace up on Goshen 7-0 early. The Nelsonville York Buckeyes 6-0 over the Raiders still. Chillicothe over Waverly 7-0 early, and Washington over Minford 7-0 early. That's a game I'm going to keep my eye on, Brad, because those are 2 high-powered offenses.
Absolutely. Ball on the ground again.
And it's picked up.
That's a big man rolling there.
Big old hit there by number 80 for the Vikings.
I'm telling you, they got some size on this team and some skill in some of those size.
Ian Moeller, a big hit. That was
it's good to call Ian's name so far.
That was Zach Goebel, and he
He hit him low and took him out, didn't he?
Late a hit there. So we'll see if Meigs can shake off the early struggles on offense. They put the ball on the ground twice, Brad, in that first series and lost the second fumble.
I think if I'm Meigs, I just want to get 3 or 4 plays under my belt here, and they may just be, direct handoff, something that we can get a little something rolling.
So Cleveland with SQ, another high snap, but he brings it in. The Vikings rushing, and Cleveland gets out of 1 tackle, gets out of 2, but doesn't get out of the 3rd as Dawson Brown picks up the sack.
On the quarterback keeper was eventually sacked by
back to the 29-yard line, so a loss of 10. Good, Brad, not what you want.
No,
if you're a Meigs fan.
No, not at all. This is probably the worst anticipated thing that could happen in this series of events so far.
Brings about 2nd down, 19 from the Marauders' 29-yard line.
We're down to 8 minutes to go, first quarter. Vikings lead 14-0 against the Meigs Marauders, looking to take a win here in the Week 1 opener of TVC Ohio play. Cleveland going to look to roll to his right this time. Throws to a wide open receiver, number 12, and instantly tackled by Gabe Ratchke was Jake Martin, the backup quarterback, sophomore.
Good kid, another good kid. Good family.
Nice play there by Meigs. They got the receiver open, got it to him, but there was just the Vikings were so quick on the pursuit there. There were 3 guys instantly to make the tackle.
I like what the secondary's doing. It's floating, it's following what Cleveland's doing, watching his eyes and floating to that side, knowing the play's going to go that direction, and they're just being patient right now. You don't have to get really excited.
So Cleveland back in the shotgun, Meigs 4 wide. Now there's another
Dawson Brown back there.
Hurry there and nearly sacked again. This
could be bad.
And it's picked and dropped by Cale Fott. Just hit him between the numbers, Brad.
I know it.
Sometimes when you anticipate for 2 or 3 seconds, you're going to make the catch. Sometimes you start thinking.
His mind was already thinking, okay, I'm going to cut inside here. I'm going to have a straight path right to the end zone. He just didn't secure the ball.
And a nice job by the Vikings D there. Brisker on the rush.
Yeah, had it.
And Brown on the rush.
In the backfield, and they had coverage over top and underneath on that pass. Great defense so far.
So the Vikings will force Meigs into a punting situation here, as Connor Imboden's going to do the kicking for the Marauders. And there's been some high snaps. We'll see if this one's good here. Perfect snap. Kicks away. Decent kick. Spiral. Going to have a chance to return here. And fumbled his Hembry. He picks it up. Got some space. Trying to get to the right side.
Sometimes works to your advantage.
He's got a blocker. He's across the 45 to the 50. 45-40. One man to beat. And he trips him up. Nice tackle there by Connor Imboden. A touchdown-saving tackle. And the Vikings, Brad, start again with great field position.
Mr. Hembry, shoestring tackle.
At some point, Brad, teams have to quit kicking to Hembry because he's got a kickoff return for a touchdown. I'm going to call him Josh Cribbs-esque.
I like it. I like it. We got to come up with some sort of a nickname for Mr. Hembry.
So the Vikings will start this drive from the 29-yard line. And Meigs calls the timeout, Brad. What's going on over in the Meigs huddle right now? 14-0, 6:35 to go, first quarter.
If I'm coach, I'm telling them, listen, we're down 2 scores. It's early. We got plenty of time. Just relax and get into the flow of the game here, and let's just get through 1 or 2 series here in this first one before we either have to kick the ball away or turn it over on downs. Let's, just do something defensively to stop these guys to get back on offense, go through a couple of things, and just try to get things back under control.
I think we saw last week the Vikings really kind of figuring out how to break off big plays, whether it was missed assignments or whatever it was, people out of position in the first couple of weeks. But we've really seen a lot of big plays from this team last week and so far this week. I think if you're Meigs, you just got to limit that. You got to stop. You got to get a stop somewhere, and you've got to stop these big plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Vikings come out, 6:35 to go, first quarter. Vikings up 14-0.
First and 10.
After the Meigs timeout.
29-yard line.
Mollahan is going to go under center, Brad. And he's going to run it straight up the gut, spins, makes a man miss, still on his feet. Caught Meigs sleeping that time,
great
Brad.
play. That's good. We're seeing some things we haven't seen on film here out of Vinton County.
Right. How much of that was just seeing maybe the coaching staff up here on the rooftop with us? Maybe someone saw, a hole there right on the defensive line, and they just took advantage of it for a 10-yard gain.
Absolutely. And now you've got them on. They're trying to reel and say, what in the world's going on here? They're hitting us on the outside. Now they're running right up the middle on us. What are we going to do to stop this offense?
So we've got an official timeout here. I believe we have some equipment issues, maybe.
Official timeout.
So the referee is talking to Peyton Vanderwagen. Maybe some blood, Brad, on the jersey.
I would assume you're probably correct.
So he'll come off, and Cleveland will come on. And the Vikings will have it 1st and 10 here. Looks like that interior line's a little closer together this time. Mollahan.
Movement again.
Another motion, catching Meigs off guard.
Yeah, we had 2 move that time.
So it is on the Vikings.
Ball started on Vinton County.
Legal procedure there. 6:03 to go. So now it'll be 1st and 15, Brad. And this could be what you need if you're the Meigs Marauders. Vikings get a penalty. They got to go 15 yards now. This is your opportunity to try to get a stop here.
Yeah.
The clock under 6 minutes now in the first quarter. Week 1 of TVC Ohio action. And these 2 teams did not play last year, Brad. Meigs canceled on the Vikings. It's the first time they've met since 2020, and a handoff to Brown. Finds a hole. And he'll go for about 2 yards there near the 20-yard line.
Yeah, if you're Meigs, that was a positive for you there. Nice little stop. 2nd and long still.
Ashton Allman coming in for Briscoe. And Hembry in for Garrett Brown. Mollahan comes in with the play. See if the Vikings go to the air here, Brad. 2nd down, 14. Ball's on the 21. As they line up in the tee. Hembry in motion, and they're going to pitch it to Hembry. He's looking for a hole, and looks like a face mask.
Yes.
On the play, and
well, we got a little extracurriculars going on here.
We'll see. It was in. They're going to call a hold on the Vikings. I was going to say it's either a hold or a face mask, maybe both. So that's going to back the Vikings up another 10 yards, Brad. All the way back to the 32. So now if you're Meigs, this is a must-stop situation.
Yeah. I mean, everything's in your. It's advantageous to you. You just need a stop here on 2nd down. Keep them in something 3rd and long, predictable.
4:40 to go, first quarter. Vikings 2nd down and 24.
I see Parker Schonborn, the backup quarterback, in there.
Vikings need to get to the 8-yard line to pick up a 1st down. And they're going to call timeout as the play clock was running down.
Timeout.
We might. I don't know what we were trying to do there. We had 2 quarterbacks in there, and you had Zeke coming out trying to do something here.
Maybe it looked like the Philly special there, Brad, where he acts like he's confused and they snap the ball and he runs for a score, but didn't quite happen that way.
No. I was kind of intrigued there. I wanted to see what Coach had because it's a little out of his zone to do something kind of special like that, you know? Little trickery.
And we want to thank our sponsors, Adena Health Systems, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, Strickland Sales and Service. Again, we thank all of our sponsors for 2022, allowing us to bring you Viking football here. All of the home games on BMG Media.
And General Mills, our corporate sponsor.
So the Vikings, Brad, will try it again here. 2nd down, 24. They got to get to the 8-yard line to pick up a 1st down. And they come back out.
Looks like the same personnel.
2 wide receivers to the near side, Ratchke on the left side in the tight end position. He's going to motion to the right, and they're going to look to the right. Mullihan is rushed, looking downfield. He might take it.
Run it now.
He's going to tuck. He's across the 30. Big hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the Meigs Marauders. That was number 1, Manawagan, on the hit there as Mullihan got to the 29-yard line.
Probably gained 2 or 3, wasn't it?
Good job there by Meigs secondary.
Yeah, that's what they needed right there.
Makes it third down 24 from the 29.
Third and long. Pretty predictable.
So again, the Vikings need the 8-yard line for a first down, and I'm sure it'll be 4-down territory from here as they are on the 29-yard line. And Mullihan's going to take it, follow his blocker, but this time gets swallowed up. That was 35. Wade Howard on the tackle there for Meigs. Again, if Mullihan gets through those two, he's gone again,
Yeah,
Brad.
absolutely.
Talked about Meigs stopping the big plays. It's a pretty good one right there.
Yeah. 4th and 16, what do you dial up here?
I throw it to the end zone.
I like it. Go for it all. Who are we looking for?
Well, I mean, you could run Big Ashton Allman down there, or you could go short. Maybe throw a screen pass or something to get Hembry or someone into space. That worked last time. As Brown's in the game now, and he's
looking for Hembry.
Looking for Hembry. He's got Hembry at the 15.
Hembry
gets to the 9. I think he's going to be about a yard shy, Brad.
Really good. Really well drawn up play. I like it. You had nothing to lose there.
Yeah. Well, we talked about you get Hembry in space and anything can happen, and he was just 1 yard shy.
That was as good as a punt.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't ask for anything more for a punt. You want it, if you're at the 40-yard line, you want him inside the 10. So Meigs will start at the 9-yard line, Brad. The offense for the Marauders has been non-existent, although defensively, aided with a couple of Viking penalties, they were able to stop Vinton County after that nice return on the punt by Hembry.
First and 10.
Yeah, that enabled them to just slow down a bit, get your wits about you,
Take
catch
a
your
deep breath.
Yeah, and let's go out here and do something offensively if you're Meigs.
We've got 3:20 left. Brad, the quarter was flying by, and all of a sudden it's come to a standstill. As Meigs has it 1st and 10 on their own 9-yard line. They'll come out in the shotgun 4-wide set. And they're going to hand it up the middle and swallowed up by the Vikings defensive line.
Big 92.
Howard.
Is
So that was
Hunter Hoyt?
It was Hunter Hoyt and the boys, Brad.
Hungry Hunter Hoyt, Triple H.
No gain on the play. Makes it 2nd down 10.
So Meigs tries to throw, Meigs tries to run. Nothing doing on either side, Brad. Good job by the Vikings defense in this first quarter so far. In Meigs' negative yards so far in this first quarter. 2:44 to go. 2nd and 10. Cleveland fumbled the snap. Not sure if that was off the side of the leg, Brad. It never really got back to Cleveland, but he very aware to get on that ball there at the 6-yard line.
Yeah. I don't know if one of their missing starters happens to be the center. There's quite a bit of communication, lost there for some reason.
Right.
I think if you're Meigs here, you're just looking to kind of
you need some space.
Get some yardage so you can punt in this situation.
So 2:12 to go, first quarter. Vikings lead 14-0. Meigs with a big 3rd down and 13, 4 wide. We'll see if Cleveland takes this one on his own. He's going to drop back to pass. Looking to the right side. He's got a receiver.
He'll throw deep.
And just out of the reach was number 5, Dustin Vance. If that pass was a little bit lower, Brad, that's a first down.
And that's more along the lines of what you're going to see out of Meigs tonight. They like to kind of spread everything out, give them the opportunity to roll, cut it back inside with Cleveland, or pitch the ball out, or look to go deep.
So the Vikings defense holds, and Meigs will be forced to punt from their own end zone here, as Imboden's going to be punting for the Marauders again. We'll see if they kick it deep, Brad. I mean, you got to kick it deep, but
you have to.
Is this a situation where you try to get it to a corner?
I think you got to get towards the sidelines here. I don't think you want to kick it to Mr. Hembry, and that's what they're doing.
And the kick this time a little bit shorter, Brad. It's going to go to the edge and take a nice Meigs roll out of bounds near the 40-yard line. That's about all you can ask for in that situation, Brad.
Yeah, it was a great kick. I mean, you keep it out of Hembry's hands. I'll take the 30-some yards over the possibility of him returning one.
So the Vikings will have it now 1st and 10 from the 40 again. 1:48 to go first quarter.
Following the 33-yard punt by the Marauders. Ball was out of bounds at their 40-yard line, which makes it 1st down 10.
So we'll see, Brad. Last time the Vikings, a couple penalties on offense, really kind of negated the drive there. The Vikings, though, again start on their side of the field here, the 40-yard line. Great field position for the Vikings. See if they can cash in.
This will be a big score before the quarter. You get one more on the board.
So the Vikings in the tee. Brown in motion. Handoffs up the middle. And swallowed up there is Habron. That was number 35. Wade Howard, and we've called his name a few times on that defensive line for the Marauders. Actually came out of the linebacker position. Was Howard, and Howard is only a sophomore, Brad.
That's going to be a talented individual.
Yes, it is. Pick up a 2 there for the Vikings' Lane Habron. Clock rolling, 1:10 to go, first quarter. Same formation. And this play is to the right side. Habron breaks the tackle, gets the first down. Now, Brad, Habron's not a big kid. He's quick, but he's not big, so that's impressive to see him shoot through those gaps like that.
It is. That's a very aggressive run by Lane.
Again, Lane, we expect at some point in his career, and it could be this year, to be that player that can break anytime he touches the ball. Showed a little bit of a flash there. We'll see if they give it to him again. The Vikings have it now 1st and 10. They do. And Habron forges ahead. Pickup of about 5, maybe 6 on the play. Brad, do you keep feeding the kid?
Hey, you might as well. I mean, 4 or 5 yards every touch.
So the ball now at the 20-yard line. Vikings, we'll see if they get one more playoff here as we're down to 23 seconds to go in the first quarter.
From the Marauders' 20-yard line.
So we'll see. Mollahan, 10 seconds left. Mollahan takes a snap, hand off. Lane Habron. Another tackle, missed tackle by the Marauders, and Habron gets the first down to the 10-yard line, Brad.
That's some good running by
about 30 yards on 3 carries, Brad.
Yeah, and to be doing it between the tackles, that's different for Lane. You know, Lane's that shifty running back.
Well, Brad, and we've seen the Vikings have success in the last game and a quarter on the outside. This drive, you're seeing the Vikings have success through the gaps.
I hope they keep it up, but, you know, last 2 games I kept begging to do that. Let's get on the edge. Let's get on the edge. Let's get something, something going there. But they're doing what kind of suits them best. It's just surprising to see it be Lane, running up the gut.
Right, not a big body like Garrett Brown. So the Vikings lead 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. We want to thank our sponsors again, Adena Health Systems, which we will have the Adena Health Systems player of the game tonight, Brad. Could be Lane Habron making a case for that. BCR, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, Strickland Sales and Service. Again, we thank all of our sponsors for this 2022 season. Brad, a nice crowd there on the hillside tonight. I'm assuming we're going to have some of John's famous sliders catered up here.
Absolutely. He never lets us down.
Yes. I have to thank John from Spring Street Sports as well with what he's really kind of started on the hillside, and the fact that they have the gate fund that I don't think a lot of people know about that. Brad, why don't you talk a little bit about that while we got a break in the action here? What do they do on the hillside other than sit up there and have fun?
Well, they always have a good time, but a lot of people bring food. We have there's sliders up there. They have brats, hot dogs. People bring a lot of finger foods, and they take donations up there, and those donations go right back to the gate fund. So we're not taking away from the gate and the admissions and the money that goes back into the system through the boosters.
It's a great thing that we've got going up there as the Vikings start the second quarter from the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. And Garrett Brown's in motion, and he's following a block and makes a cut back inside the 5, tackled there by 66.
Nice vision by Garrett. Good patience.
That was Jesse Young, a junior for the Meigs Marauders on the tackle, down to the 2-yard line.
2 yard, take up of 8. Makes it second down goal from the 2-yard line.
Mollahan. And all sorts of craziness going on there, Brad.
That's a little ugly.
66. Again, after making that touchdown-saving tackle, Jesse Young comes through the line. I believe that's on the Vikings there, but typically in that situation, Brad, it's not good to hit the quarterback on a dead ball.
No, not at all. I'm sure his linemen are going to be sticking up for him here on this next play.
Whether it is a penalty or not, I think the offensive line is going to take a little bit of offense to that.
They will. Of course, it looks like Zeke can handle his own there.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't, but, you know, Jesse Young's a pretty big fella.
Yeah.
All of them are down there on that next line.
I'm telling you, that line has got some size to it.
So the Vikings back up 5. They'll be at the 6-yard line. Second and goal. Hembry in motion. Pitch is to Hembry. Nice cutback there, but met by 62 and dropped was Hembry. That was Zach Goebel on the tackle for Meigs, another sophomore. Brad, this is a Meigs team that, you know, just reading through the names and who's making plays, this is a young team.
It is. It is. They're led by a few seniors. I don't know exactly how many's on the roster, but they got a real nice junior class and followed up with a sophomore class that's just as talented as the junior class.
So again, this Marauder defense really, you know, coming to play inside the 20-yard line. And again, we've talked about the Vikings having trouble inside the red zone this year. They didn't have so much trouble last week, but overall they have, as it's now 3rd down and goal from the 8. And Zeke's going to pitch it, and a nice read there by the Meigs defense. And Joe Metzger on the tackle as Brown got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and 8.
Yards are tough down here inside the 10.
They are. We'll see if the Vikings kick here, Brad. And they're going to kick the field goal.
I think that's a good idea.
So the Vikings have yet to make a field goal, Brad. They're 0 for 1 on the season, as Cooper Habron's going to come in and kick for the Vikings. Nearly automatic from extra points. This is going to be a 25-yard attempt here, Brad. We've yet to make a field goal since last season, and the kick's up. Hold was good. The kick is just through.
Hey, we'll take it.
And the Vikings now take a 17-0 lead, Brad. We've seen a little bit of everything so far tonight.
Yeah. I'm glad to see him get his first field goal there.
Now, if you're Meigs, though, you have to be happy with holding the Vikings to 3.
That's a positive so far.
So 2 trips into the red zone for the Vikings. They only have 3 points to show for it. So I think that's maybe something that you can talk about over on the Meigs sideline to try to build some momentum here. But honestly, Brad, the defense can play as great as they want. The offense has to get going for the Marauders.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, you've got to kind of get something going on this possession, even if it's just, you know, a couple, 3 or 4 first downs, and get to midfield and flip the field on the kick and put Vinton County in a long field situation.
Brad, we have our first firework of the season. And
interesting.
It came from the backyard of Goodwill.
Well, you know.
I believe it was the kid in the blue shirt over there running back to the fence.
He's running towards the Meigs sideline.
He may have thought that there was a gunshot. I don't know, Brad. He might be running for his life.
They were a little late if that was a celebration for the field goal.
Maybe it had a long wick on it, Brad.
Yeah, it could be.
Abrams' kick, that might have been touched by the Marauders, and it's picked up by number 62, and he's barreling across near midfield, and he's going to get across the 45 to the 46. That was Zach Goebel.
It's good starting field position for Meigs.
Picked up by number 62, Zach Goebel.
Again, the Vikings, Brad, continuing to pooch on these kicks.
Well, it's worked so far. It's worked for them.
Marauders, 1st and 10 on their 46-yard line.
You know, early on we saw Gabe booting some of those rollouts, rugby style, and They like to sniff down there inside the 20-yard line.
So Meigs trying to make something happen here in the second quarter. 9:25 to go. Vikings lead 17-0, and that was another penalty there. Looked like a false start. A couple of linemen went early.
I have to believe, you know, missing some starters, that they're struggling with things down there, communication-wise, and just everybody getting on the same page.
So again, Brad, Meigs going backwards on offense.
What can you say?
Cleveland's going to have it. First down and 15 now. Wyatt Howard in the backfield with him. And another low snap. There's a handoff to Howard and instantly tackled there. I believe that was Eli Potter on the tackle for the Vikings.
Was to Wyatt Howard. Tackle was by the Vikings, number 34, Eli Potter.
Really surprising, you know, watching Meigs on film. They've got some explosiveness.
Yes, I was going to say that exact same word, Brad. This is an explosive offense. We saw last week against Cole Grove, which Cole Grove's a very good team. They're going to win 7-8 games this season.
Right.
Meigs was able to go toe-to-toe. You know, you have to think that the injuries are playing a big factor tonight. As Cleveland looks to pass, he's got all kinds of time and going to be ran out of bounds after about a 4-yard pickup there. Great job there on the play by Owen Heyer, and that's a name that we've called quite a bit this year, Brad, on the defensive side of the ball.
It has. Talented junior, really starting to show what he's made of here defensively.
So Cleveland picked up 3 yards on the play.
Pick up a 3 on the play.
And they'll have it third down 13 from the 43. 8:40 to go first quarter, Brad. We're waiting for Meigs to make a play on offense. Clearly a passing situation here. We'll see if they can get someone open. So they've got trips to the near side. One-on-one coverage to the far side. We'll see if he goes that way. He's looking that way. And he goes back to the middle of the field. This one's up for grabs. Ratchke down there, and Ratchke's got it.
There we go.
Picked off at the 25-yard line. Gabe Ratchke just in position, Brad. Saw the ball float and came down with it.
Had leverage on the offensive player and got himself in front, and it was all his.
So the Vikings turn Meigs over again. Now, Brad, how much of that was okay? If we don't get the first down, we're going to punt. Is that what was going through the mind of Coach Tennant over there?
I would assume so, and that's what I was thinking when the ball was put up that high and downfield. Hey, you know, it's either incomplete, we punt it, or if it's intercepted, so be it, you know.
Right. So the Vikings look to put together a long drive here. Brad, try to take this down into halftime with a lead. Vikings lead now 17-0, 8:30 to go, second quarter. And a handoff here to Brown. He's going to cut up the middle and picks up about 5 yards, Brad. That looked like it was going to be shut down for a couple of yards.
It did. I didn't think it was going to get beyond the line of scrimmage, and they were able to make something out of that positively.
So Garrett Brown showing the strength. And how tough is that for a defense, Brad, when you have, basically tonight, you've got Garrett Brown, who's big, physical, maybe not the fastest kid, but he'll run you over. And then you switch it up with Elaine Hayburn, who's really shifty, really quick, really small, can squirt through the holes really easy. How big of an issue is that for defense?
I think it'd be really hard as a DB coming up on and expecting to make, you know, a low tackle on a bigger kid and then having to break out and try to get somebody that's shifty.
So this is going to be a delay of game on the Vikings. So we'll negate that 5-yard run by Brown, and we'll go back and.
I mean, you've seen Zeke run the ball tonight. You've seen Lane Hayburn run the ball. Gabe Ratchke run the ball. Matt Hembry run the ball. You know, we haven't even spoken about Mr. Brown.
Right.
That's a whole lot of talent in that backfield.
Yes, it is. Vikings come out, 2 wide receivers to the near side. 2nd and 10. Mollahan going to follow Brown. Now bounces, tries to bounce to the outside. Still going forward as Peyton Vanowagen on the hit and tackle. Maybe a yard gain on the play. Again, Mollahan trying to follow Garrett Brown from that lead blocking position.
Yeah, just had a man on either shoulder there. Still, he was tough to take down.
Yes. So pick up about a half a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10 as we are down to 7 minutes left in the second quarter. The Vikings up 17-0. See if they put it in the air here. Got a man in motion. Mollahan looking to pass.
For Hembry.
Going to Hembry. Ball's there, and it's going to be dropped.
That was good by Matt to get up there and help knock that ball away.
Joe Metzger on the defense there for Meigs.
If you're Meigs, that's a positive. That whole drive was a positive for Meigs defensively.
Absolutely.
Back to punt formation for the Vikings is Gabe Rashi, number 33, number 1.
You get this ball anywhere close to midfield and can punch this in before the end of the half. If you're Meigs, you're in this ball game. I mean, and up until this point, you couldn't say that.
And there's a kick. This one hits and is going to be downed at the 41. That was kind of a low kick there by Raschke. We're used to the big boomers.
We are.
So Meigs will take over, 6:34 to go. Second quarter. Brad Meigs gets the ball first in the second half. So, yeah, if you can put together a drive, like you said.
Yeah, you're by no means out of this game.
The Vikings' hot start on offense kind of slowed down by the Meigs defense. They're just waiting for that Meigs offense to make a couple big plays.
And we'll see it. We'll get to see it here eventually in this game, and it could be on this possession. They'll get things straightened out here on the snap and get into a rhythm.
So Cleveland looks for the swing pass. He's got it. And up to make the hit is Raschke and Hunter Schonborn. That was Howard. So again, Brad, not much yardage.
No. Defensively, we've looked good. We've stayed home, haven't over-pursued. Just kind of letting Meigs do their thing there around the line of scrimmage and just hold them to something short. We've yet to see that explosive offense.
Meigs again 4 wide, got a man in motion, and it's going to be handoff and fumbled by Meigs, and it's going to be picked up by the Vikings. Number 25, Thacker. As Meigs, Brad, the turnovers are killing the Meigs Marauders.
I don't need to say it again. There's something going on there with their starters missing. They're just so much going on there that we probably can't read.
Now that looked like a low snap and a late handoff to me, Brad.
It was. He put it on his hip, and he just couldn't quite get it up into the breadbasket there and took the hit, and ball just kind of come loose.
So now if you're the Vikings, Brad, though, you've been given the opportunity here to really take a stranglehold on this game now 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And Meigs' defense has been able to stop the Vikings twice now. So we'll see if they can bow up and stop the Vikings again, because the way that this offense is going for Meigs, a 24-0 lead at halftime is going to be pretty tough to come out of in the second half.
It is. If you told me that before the game, I'd say, well, no, they're still in the game because they're a pretty explosive offense. But what we've seen so far, it's not hitting tonight. It's just not working.
So the Vikings call timeout here as they'll take over 1st and 10 on the 43. 5:48 to go, second quarter, 17-0 Vikings lead. We want to thank Adena Health Systems, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, and Strickland Sales and Service for sponsoring tonight's game and all of our games here on BMG. Brad, I'll see if I can pull up a couple scores here. We've got a moment. I'm not sure if it's not been updated or what, Brad, but Nelsonville York still leads River Valley 6-0. That's in the first quarter.
Well, we knew River Valley was going to be much improved this year.
Washington up on Memphis 21-0 in the second quarter, Brad.
A little surprising.
Green and Southern tied at 7 in the second quarter. Oak Hill and Northwest tied at 7 in the second quarter. Portsmouth West up on Wellston 35-0 in the second quarter. Zane Trace over Piketon 12-0 in the second quarter. As we start play here, Raschke's going to be in motion. Handoff to the, no, it's a keeper by Mollahan. He looks to pitch. Now he pitches to Raschke. And Raschke's going to be ran out of bounds after about a 9-yard gain to the 35-yard line. Again, Mollahan holds on to that option so long, Brad.
And for a high school quarterback, that's something you don't see a whole lot. You know, they get out there and get somebody in their face. Usually they want rid of the ball real quickly.
It's almost like Mollahan welcomes the contact before he gets rid of the ball.
I agree with you wholeheartedly because he's just saying, come get me, boy, come on.
Makes that defensive end sell out.
Yeah.
And allows his option man to pick up a few more yards. Ratchke with an 8-yard gain. And Ratchke's in motion again. This time it's that crisscross play to Garrett Brown. And he's going to pick up the first down, Brad. I'm not sure how because
he earned some tough yards right there.
Walker Mayer was right there when he got that ball. Somehow he got through to pick up that first down. That was all Garrett Brown on that play.
Squirming and squirting, twisting, contorting himself.
The Vikings have it at the 28-yard line now.
I like the pace that we're going with here.
And they're going to be a keeper up the middle by Mollahan. Again, the second time we've seen that, Brad, trying to catch Meigs sleep. And the first time they got 9 yards. Second time they get 5 yards now.
It's funny how Zeke goes into those keepers, and you're thinking he's just going to fall forward, and all of a sudden you see him spinning, and he's getting an extra 3 yards out of it.
And the Vikings playing with a little bit of tempo here. 4:56 to go, second quarter. Brown's in motion this time is
nice pullback.
Mollahan's going to keep it, and he's going to get across the 20, probably pick up the first down. Looks like he's close to the marker. And they signal first down for Mollahan. So again, Brad, he knows when to pitch, he knows when to keep. Pretty intelligent quarterback.
Yeah, he's something else.
And the Vikings up to the line quick, Brad. We've not seen this pace from the Vikings all season.
No, and I like it. I would like to see him continue to do this throughout the game.
4:20 to go, first half. Ratchke is going to go in motion. They're going to hand it to Hayburn. Hayburn up the middle, across the 10-5, touchdown Lane Hayburn, Brad.
Yes.
We talked about him coming up the middle, having that chance to break it. He did right there.
Man, he's earning his yards up the middle, in between the hashes, and that kid's one that usually just burns the outside. The edge is all his, and he's earning his keep tonight.
Lane Hayburn on the board.
Extra point.
Vikings up 23-0, 4:07 to go, second quarter. We'll see if the other Hayburn can make it off the upright.
Extra point attempt.
No doubt in that one, Brad. That was no good, but the Vikings lead 23-0 as the fireworks shoot off again, Brad.
Well, I'm excited that somebody's attempting to take on the tradition. I don't want to.
You don't want any arrests.
Yeah, I don't want to see any arrests for anybody. You know, we've had some warnings about that in the past.
Well, Brad, at least it looks like they're setting it off on a public street, so that makes it all better, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was private property before, and now you're on a public street. Yeah. So
it's Cherry Hill Lane for those viewers that don't know. That is the newest road here in McCarthy.
Yeah.
So the Vikings, Brad, up 23-0 now. Man, if you're Meigs, you almost have to get something going before the end of this first half.
You don't necessarily have to score, but you've got to show something positive here offensively and, you know, get 20 or 30 yards on this drive, go into the half, figure out what the issues are, and come out with the next possession and then hopefully score on it.
Back again for the Marauders is number 2, Connor Imboden, and number 1, Peyton Vandenwagen.
Hayburn going to kick off for the Vikings. And another squib up the middle, this time picked up by Meigs, number 2, Imboden. And he gets upended at the 33-yard line. Again, some pushing and shoving after the play, Brad, and there is going to be a flag.
Well, you hate to see that on either side.
Well, the flag was a little late, but I believe they're going to call it on the Vikings.
Coach would be real happy about that one. And we've had a pretty good half. Let's not see it get dirtied up by some unnecessary penalties.
Let's see if it's just on Vinton County or if it's multiple.
Offsetting.
We've got a personal foul against Vinton County. And that's going to be 15 yards, Brad. So if you're Meigs, 4 minutes, 2 seconds. You're going to have the ball near midfield after the penalty.
Well, I think you've got to get Griffin into open space, roll him out, get that halfback off his hip, give him the option to pitch or throw the ball downfield and open your offense up a little bit more. Of course, I guess it starts with the snap, and we've really not been able to see that yet.
And turnovers have been a big thorn in Meigs' side here in the first half, as Cleveland's going to take this one himself all the way. Gets up to the line, forges ahead, picks up about 4, Brad.
Hey, you're on Vinton County's side of the field now.
Tackle was made by Dawson Brown.
So 3:50 to go in the first half.
Second down, 6 from the Vikings. 47-yard line.
And Brad, the biggest play for Meigs' offense tonight, that 4-yard pickup.
Well, you've got to start somewhere. And again, like I said, just a couple of first downs here. You don't even necessarily have to score, but you've got to show something on offense here.
All right, so we'll see if they stick to the ground with Cleveland. This is going to be,
wow.
Look for the option, I think, but
flag here.
Just came from both sides was the Vikings defense. I believe they were trying to set up maybe a screen there, Brad, and there was just no time. Now there's a flag on the play. And according to Brady Woltz, it's going to be on Meigs, and it looks like a hold. Now, Brad, do you take the penalty here, or do you take the 4-yard loss and the loss of down? You're looking at a 6-yard leeway here.
I think I take the loss of down.
I believe I would as well, and it looks like they will.
12.
So the penalty will be declined, and Meigs will have it 3rd down.
I'm sure Coach would like to have one more opportunity at scoring before the half.
Right.
That way when you come out of the half, if you can get this to 30, it'll be a short second half.
Running clock rule at 30 points. As Cleveland's going to look to go deep. He's got some time this time, rolls to his right, now throws it across to number 7, and he's going to be near the first down. Looked like the ball came out.
Yeah, it rolled out of bounds.
That was to Logan Eskew. The ball came out after contact. Now, Brad, it's 4th down and 2.
Obviously, you go
going for it all the way, right?
Absolutely.
Let's see if they try Cleveland up the gut again. Went for 4 yards earlier in this series.
I don't know. We got hungry Hunter Hoyt in there.
We do have Hunter Hoyt and the boys. So 2:37 to go in the second quarter. And if you're the Vikings here, you get a stop. You got enough time to try to score again before the end of the first half. Cleveland's going to take it himself, and there's nowhere there. Looking for space, and he's through the hole.
Oh, he dropped
Fumble, and they're going to say he's down, which looked like the right call. But, boy, Cleveland, nowhere to go in the initial hole, bounces to the left. And that shows you the escapability by Cleveland, ability to get through that left side, bounce to the left side, and get that first down. Big play by the Meigs offense there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunter blew up that play up the middle, and Griffin took advantage of there to the left side.
We thought that's what was going to happen, and Vikings defense was ready. But Cleveland is a special talent with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Cleveland's going to look to pass. He's got some time. He throws to the right side. Nice knock away by Hembry there.
Great anticipation by Hembry. He saw the cut, looked back at the quarterback, knew the ball was coming, and was able to get that ball out there.
And we've talked about it all year, Brad. We just haven't really seen a team really throw the ball a whole lot. We did it against Unioto where the Vikings had an interception, but our defensive backs have really been playing well.
They have. It's continued on from last year. They've been just as special this year.
So another second down and long here for Meigs. 1:54 to go on the incomplete pass. In 4 wide for the Marauders. This time Cleveland's going to look to pitch. He does not. He keeps it. And there's going to be a hold as Cleveland gets across the 30 to the 25. And they're not going to call. Not going to call the hold. So Cleveland, with a big first down and out of bounds, more importantly, saves a timeout for Meigs. They have 2 timeouts left, 1:45, Brad, and they are at the 25-yard line.
Great vision by Cleveland and able to get out of the bounds there at the end of to get, at the end of the play there to stop the clock. Very poised. Under pressure most every play.
Yes, Meigs looking to make something happen here after a non-existent offensive first half. They're trying to punch it in here before the end of the second quarter. Again, Meigs will have the ball first in the second half. Meigs trying to make a game of it, and they've got to call timeout as the play clock was down to 1. So there goes that second timeout, Brad. They're left with 1 timeout. in 1st and 10, ball on the 26-yard line.
Their second.
Meigs has been able to move the ball, but it's been on the back of the younger Cleveland.
And we're going to continue to see that. Like I said, he's probably the most talented kid there in the backfield right now, you know, missing Burnham. I was really surprised that we haven't seen him stretch the field yet, especially with those senior wide receivers that can really kind of get out ahead of the defenders. I think we're going to see that more so in the second half, especially being down like they are now. They're going to be forced to pass. But Griffin showing off his skills. I mean, especially with his legs, probably even more so than what Coulter was.
Yes, at least against us, Brad. I can't speak for their other games, but, I mean, definitely you can tell they're related, Brad. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So again, the Vikings up 23-0, 1:45 to go, second quarter, trying to hold the Marauders here and pitch that first half shutout. Great crowd on hand for the Vikings. I'd say 80% full on the home side, Brad. Meigs,
I agree.
with a good showing on the road side there as we inch closer to halftime. Nice crowd on the hillside, Brad. They're 2 and 3 deep. Couldn't ask for a better atmosphere at Vinton County High School for football Friday night. Perfect weather.
Viking Corner always comes out and supports.
Cleveland throws wide open and tipped by Parker Schonborn.
Nice.
That was a touchdown-saving tip.
Yeah, nice read by Parker there. Haven't really got to call his name much this year, but defensively he's been pretty solid on that left side.
He just saved 6 points because that was a sure touchdown.
Yeah, he had found the seam there and looked like he was headed towards the goalpost.
Another great job by the defensive backs there for the Vikings, Brad, if I can spit that out. A 1:42 to go. Second down and 10. Ball's on the 26. Cleveland looking to the right side. He's got 3 receivers over there. Now he comes back to the center. Got to do something here. Parker's on him, and he's going to take off. Nice move there by Cleveland as he danced around a couple defenders, and he's going to have the first down.
I think they're going to
be a yard short.
Yeah.
Again, Brad, the shiftiness by Cleveland. Anytime he can get out in space, he's going to make something happen.
And if you notice, even when he's doing that, he's still looking downfield. He's looking downfield to see what's going on, you know, until he crosses the line of scrimmage.
A minute 9 to play.
So the Marauders have 1 timeout left in their pocket. We're down to 1 minute left in the first half. Trips to the far side. We'll see if he goes that way. He looks to the right. Now rushed. Back to the right now.
Going to have to get rid of it.
And there's a flag, and out of bounds goes Cleveland at the 20.
Is it a hold, maybe?
It's a hold or maybe an ineligible receiver downfield. Looks like a hold. Long play there, Brad. Again, pretty good job the last couple times by the Marauders defense or offensive line, giving Cleveland some time to look downfield, as this will be a hold against Meigs.
Holding is the penalty on the Marauders.
So that's going to back Meigs up 10 yards.
15-yard penalty.
Well, and you're starting to see the offense kind of gel a little bit. You're seeing what they're capable of. They've got, you know, trips on one side and a single on the other, and they're all over the field. And then you've got Griff can roll out and run, or you know, pop it over your head for a big gain.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14 for Meigs. Again, they've got 2 plays to get to the 17-yard line to pick up the first down. Brad, they still have 1 timeout left, 50 seconds to go.
30-yard line with 50 seconds
Vikings with some pretty big defensive plays on this series to keep Meigs out of the end zone. We'll see if they can continue that. As Cleveland has Wade Howard in the backfield looking that way, and he's wide open in the middle of the field. He's going to go deep here. He throws it, and a missed assignment there.
Oh, I think he got that.
At the
he's
11-yard line.
out.
Boy, it looked like he caught it.
I thought he had his 1 foot down.
Cleveland's pass.
So that was to Imboden. We've really seen him target Imboden. And we've got an official's timeout here. What a pass.
Oh, beautiful pass. Great catch. I thought he had it, man. That was exciting there. Griff took a pretty good hit on that one.
So we've got an official's timeout here. It's not a timeout by Meigs. So they still have 1 timeout left, 4th and 13. 37 seconds left.
The incomplete pass on the play brings about 4th down, 13. 37 seconds.
Again, the Vikings up 23-0 here
In the half.
in the TBC Ohio opener for 2022.
See, I think Griff got hit, and I don't know if his helmet come off or he took it off.
Okay, so we've got Connor Imboden in there at quarterback for Meigs with Howard next to him on this big fourth down play. We'll see if they let the kid throw. And they're going to, and he throws it wide
Nice.
open, number 7, and
Wow.
knocked away by Brady Walsh. Used the shoulder to get in there on those hands. And that was a nice pass by the backup quarterback.
It was. Beautiful pass, put where pretty much only his guy could get to it, but Brady was able to make an athletic play on
And
it.
that was Eskew that nearly had the first down. Would have been a first down had he corralled that. So the Vikings with it now. 1st and 10. The ball's on the 30-yard line, Brad. There's 32 seconds left.
We do have 3 timeouts, don't we?
We do have all 3 timeouts. Is this a situation where we try to do something crazy here, get big yards, try to put up another score, or do we just go into halftime happy up 23-0?
I'd say Coach would be happy with what we're doing, but I would take a shot here on this first play, and if you can get a good chunk of yardage here, then maybe you sniff it. Maybe you go for it.
The Vikings scored with 36 seconds left against Rock Hill a couple weeks ago. Allahan drops back, and he's going to run all the way.
This might be a big one.
And he's across the 25. He's going to get out of bounds after picking up the first down, Brad.
Nice little burst there right at the end. You saw him give that hop. On around the corner he went, and for the first down, I really thought he'd run out short.
They mark him out 1 yard shy of the first down to 39. 24 seconds left. Smart play, getting out of bounds, saving those timeouts.
Second down, less than 1.
Might have been a situation there where Mullahan, if the receiver was open right away, you throw.
Yes.
If not, you tuck and run.
Yeah,
Because if you're Meigs, you're going to play prevent here, a little bit more prevent than what you have been.
I think so. Keep everything in front of you. Don't give up the big play where they got the opportunity to score real easy.
Meigs with 3 defensive backs, 10 yards and deep. As looking to throw is Mullahan. He's got Hembry and
Through the hands of Hembry.
just a little short on the pass there.
Pass intended for Hembry.
Down to 18 seconds. We'll see if the Vikings keep going through the air here.
Depending on the play was Marauders number 2, Connor Imboden.
The Vikings have it. It'll be 3rd down and 1, Brad, but that really doesn't matter with 18 seconds left.
No.
3rd down 1.
Ball's on the 39. The Vikings will come out. 2 wide receivers to the near side, Hembry and Moeller. As Mullahan, straight drop, looking for the screen. Gotta move.
Hembry's a safety outlet. Did
And
you
he's going
see
to
him?
take it himself. Picks up about 2 yards. Gets the first down. Actually, they're going to mark him out right at the 40. So he picks up 1 yard, but got the first down, 11 seconds left.
Still got an opportunity here for another play or 2.
Pick up 1 on the play.
Again, the Vikings with their timeouts. So you can try something maybe 10, 15 yards downfield, Brad. Still have
not?
time to call timeout and, maybe throw one up to the end zone.
40-yard line.
I like it.
With 11 seconds left on the clock.
Or do you try to catch Meigs off guard here and maybe run a draw play?
I think you go deep.
I like it. 11 seconds left. And
Nope.
the Vikings are going to
I'd say
go
that's
nowhere
probably
here.
the half.
As Mullahan's brought down,
Dustin Vance.
looks like number 5, Vance on the tackle. And the Vikings
We called a timeout.
call timeout.
Timeout.
3 seconds left.
County.
Brad, if there's, it's been, I can't remember the last time the Vikings ran an actual trick play.
Well,
It's just never really been in the arsenal, not just with Coach Carper, but with the previous coaches that have been here. Is this a time where you see something like that?
I don't know. Do you draw up a hook and ladder? Do we just kind of go with some sort of a misdirection play and over the top? I don't know what you do here. I don't know what they practice. I see a lot of practices, but I have no clue when it comes to this.
There obviously has to be something in the mind of Coach Carper here to call that timeout, not just going to half up 23-0. They've got to have something that they've got planned for this particular situation. Now watch him take a knee.
Well, nothing would be surprising at this point.
Vinton County ball, 2nd down 13 with 3 seconds left.
So Mullahan's going to have it in the shotgun. There's 2 wide receivers to the right side, and Garrett Brown next to Mullahan in the backfield. This will be the last play, barring a defensive penalty, Brad, for the first half. And there is a trick play. That's Hembry now trying to get the corner. And he's still dancing.
Back,
and he spins, and he's down at the 43. So a lot of running for a few yards there.
I really thought Hembry was going to turn her all the way back across the field the other way. But
so the Vikings try a little trickeration there, Brad, but to no avail, and they will head into halftime up 23-0, Brad.
Hey, I'll take it. I didn't expect 23-0. I told you I thought this would be a high-scoring affair. I thought somebody would have to score 40 to win this ball game. And you may still see somebody score 40 to win this ball game. And honestly, though, don't count Meigs out. They are explosive, and things could really turn after the half. We'll see.
Well, we talked about the high-scoring offense of Meigs, but really the Vikings' defense, Brad, they've given up 16 points a game so far this season. They've really played well. They held Unioto to 21 points in week one. That's a team that's put up a lot of numbers since then. They've been in the 40s multiple times in the last couple weeks against pretty good programs in Amanda Clear Creek and Waverly a week ago. So the defense has really played well this season. So, I mean, you came into the game, you kind of thought, okay, this might be a high-scoring game because of what Meigs has done and because of what you saw on this field last week against the Trimble Tomcats. But really, quietly, the defense has made plays, and they made plays against Meigs in that late in that second quarter to really keep them out of the end zone. And it was big plays made by the defense, by the secondary, by the line, by Hunter Hoyt and the boys. They've really played well and stepped up when they needed to. So it's really not a shocker to me that there's a 0 on the board for Meigs. Now, what is a shocker is Meigs, they gave up a lot of points last week, but that was to a Coal Grove team that scored a lot. I just expected their defense to come and play a little bit better than what they have. And, again, they did in the second quarter. They played much better in the second quarter than they did the first.
Yeah, Coach has got a lot of things starting to go his way, Meigs coaches. They're going to go in there. I don't think they're going to reinvent the wheel. They're going to tweak a few things. They've got some things going their way now. Defensively, they look better. The offense is actually starting to spread out and flow a little bit better. I don't think Coach is going to go in there. He's probably going to tear tail because there was a lot of mistakes in that first quarter. The snap problems, some unforced penalties. Is he probably unhappy? Probably so, because they could probably be in this game really easy.
Right.
But you're not going to see drastic changes. He's going to come out and do more of the same. You're going to see them throw the ball a lot more. You're going to see Griff get to the edge and try to expose us by running the ball. Just expect more of the same, what you saw there late in the second when they actually started becoming Meigs.
Right. Okay, so we'll read over some scores. We'll go over the first half stats, and then we'll let the viewers out there listen to the halftime show by Meigs and the Marching Vikings here. These are as of 8 p.m., so just 10 minutes ago. Up-to-date scores: Logan leads Warren 7-0. Eastern Meigs over Portsmouth Notre Dame 6-0. Eastern Meigs is looking to start 4-0 this season, by the way, Brad.
That's
Portsmouth West over Wellston 42-0. Valley over Eastern Pike 28-0. Zane Trace leads Piketon 13-0. New Lex over West Muskingum, 2-3-0 teams, 6-0 in that one. So that's a tight game in the MVL. Another tight game in the MVL: Sheridan and Morgan, Brad. Morgan really coming out of nowhere. Morgan's a team that traditionally has struggled a lot in the MVL. 6-6 with Sheridan. They're banging heads with the big boys this week. Northwest leads Oak Hill 13-7. Taze Valley over Fairfield Union 14-7. Miami Trace leads Goshen 21-7. Adena over Southeastern 13-0. That's a pretty good showing from the Southeastern defense tonight. Green leads Southern 19-14. Jackson leads Western Brown 21-14, and almost a must-win game for the Ironmen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Portsmouth leads Rock Hill 21-14. A lot of people predicted that to be a blowout. We've seen Rock Hill. We've seen them control clock, and I'm not surprised that that's a tight ball game. Coal Grove leads South Point 14-7. Washington over Minford 21-0 now. Chillicothe over Waverly 28-12. McLean over East Clinton 28-0. Newcomerstown over Sideville East 12-8. Brad, the score of the night: the Alexander Spartans lead the Athens Bulldogs in what is kind of like an Iowa-esque game. If you watched that last Saturday,
yeah,
they lead the Athens Bulldogs 2-0. Huntington and Unioto, Brad, this was 0-0. Not sure if there's just not been an update there or what, but that would be surprising if it's late in the second quarter and those two teams are tied at 0.
Huh?
Huntington and Unioto. Fort Fry leads Waterford 21-0. Fairland over Trimble 14-0. Paint Valley leads Westfall 21-6. South Guy over Manchester 34-0. Guy Academy 28, Chesapeake 0. Guy looking to go to 4-0. It is Wheelersburg and Ashland, Kentucky tied at 7, and still 6-0 Nelson York over River Valley. So those are the scores from around the area that we have. We'll read over the stats here real quick as best stat man in the game, Lugs Harold, sends us those. First downs, Meigs has 2 on the night, and Vinton County with 11. Meigs, 14 rushes for 0 yards, Brad. Vinton County, 27 rushes for 170 yards. Passing yards, Meigs has 11. The Vikings with 41 passing yards. Meigs is 3 of 10 with 1 interception, and the Vikings are 2 of 5 passing. Total plays, 24 for Meigs for 11 yards and 32 for the Vikings for 211 yards. You got to like the mix. Again, we talked about it last week, Brad. We don't need a 50-50 split, but we just need to keep teams honest, and I think we have so far with the passing attack again for the second week in a row. The average play for the Meigs Marauders, half a yard. The Vikings with 6.6 yard average.
That's some defense there.
Let's see. Fumbles. Meigs has 4 fumbles, 2 lost. And the interception. So a total of 3 turnovers tonight for the Marauders, really putting a damper on the offense. Even though we saw it kind of start to get going there late in the second half, still the turnovers and penalties have been brutal for the Meigs Marauders. Penalties 5 for Meigs for a total of 44 yards, 6 for Vinton County, 47 yards. Again, that's something that we need to work on, Brad. We continue to lead that mark in penalties, it seems like, every week.
Something we don't want to do.
Meigs with 2 punts for a 36.5 average. The Vikings with Ratchke having 1 punt for 33 yards. Time of possession, 9:52 for the Marauders, 14:08 for the Vikings. So continuing to build off that second half against Trimble in terms of time of possession. Third down, 0 for 5 for the Meigs Marauders, but not much better for the Vikings, Brad. 1 of 4. Fourth down, Meigs is 1 of 2, and the Vikings are 0 for 1 in the first half. So we'll go with, let's see here. We have the individual stats.
They're on down there at the bottom.
Okay. So rushing for, we'll go for the Vikings here, as Meigs has 0 rushing yards. Zeke Mullahan has 77, Lane Habron with 48, Garrett Brown with 25, and Rashke with 13, and Henry with 7. That's a pretty good mix across the board there, rushing for the Vikings, Brad.
Right.
Receiving for the Marauders, Jake Smart with 1, Wade Howard with 1. Kind of hard to see this.
Yeah, I can't. They're kind of drawing together there. I'd say Lugs is in a rush.
So Gabe Ratchke with the interception for the Vikings on defense there in that first half. So again, stat-wise, Brad, looking good for the Vikings. Scoreboard looking good for the Vikings, up 23-0. Really need to come out and have a strong second half on defense, and we can walk away with a 1-0 mark in the TVC Ohio, and even that overall record at 2-2.
Yeah, and the TVC championship is still out ahead of us. You know, 2-2 is great by me, and you had a close loss in an overtime game with Rock Hill.
Right.
You know, the Unioto game starting to look like Unioto's pretty legit, so there's no shame in losing to the Unioto at their place. It's still a pretty good season, if you ask me.
We've got a lot ahead of us, Brad, including a second half here. We're going to step aside, let you guys out there watching listen to the Meigs Marching Marauders and the Vinton County Marching Vikings after Meigs finishes up their show. We'll be back here. This is BMG Media's coverage of Viking football. Enjoy the halftime show. We'll be back for the second half next.
Under the direction of Sam Kugel and Katie King, Carnivore Instructor Courtney Scarberry, and Majorette Instructor Jana Schweikert. Uniform Head Corey Harper and Field Commander Allie Hoy, please welcome the Vinton County Marching Vikings! Tonight's show is homage to our mascot, the Viking. We open our show with Richard Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries. The Valkyries are the Nordic choosers of the slain who guide fallen Viking warriors to the afterlife, either to Wagner or Valhalla. Our next tune celebrates the Vikings in the movie How to Train Your Dragon. Here is This Is Bark. We Vikings were born in the land of the ice and the snow, and our hearts are frozen. Listen for Frozen Heart from the movie Frozen, Foreigners, Cold as Ice, and Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. Thank you for your attention and applause. We are the Vinton County Marching Vikings.
We welcome everybody back here to Vinton County High School, where the Vikings hold a 23-0 lead at the half. Both teams coming back out onto the field. Quickly before we begin the second half, Brad, I want to thank our sponsors again, Dina Health Systems, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, and Strickland Sales and Service, as we get set to bring you second half coverage of Vinton County and Meigs here on BMG Media.
I feel like we're going to have a really exciting second half here, Nathan. I really do.
I think you're right, Brad. I think, if you're the Marauders, you really, I guess the offense started to click a little bit there late in the second half or second quarter with, Cleveland getting out into some space, making some people miss, picking up some yards. Looked a little more like what we thought we would see from the Marauders tonight. So, yeah, I think adjustments made by the Meigs Marauders. I think you could see a few more points put on the board, hopefully by both teams tonight. A couple of updated scores. Nelson York leads River Valley 20-0. And the Raiders hanging tough with what is the favorite to win the TVC Ohio this year.
I was a little surprised that score that deep into the second quarter, but now it looks like the Buckeyes are starting to get rolling.
Northwest leads Oak Hill 13-7.
Again, blue ticket 091386.
Brad, Alexander puts a touchdown up now. They lead Athens 9-0 in the second quarter.
Is that a baseball score, Nathan?
It's close to a mercy rule if it is, Brad.
Yeah, true.
Portsmouth West leads Wellston at the half 49-0. Brad, an interesting score here, and this is a big rivalry game for these two teams because they literally are a quarter mile apart. But a lot of people in this area think Fort Fry could be a state championship type of team in Division 6. They lead Waterford at halftime 28-13. That is a lot closer than I thought.
It is.
Again, a rivalry game.
It is, and Waterford's been good, in past years.
Right. But not quite the level of what we expect Fort Fry to be on.
No.
Fairland leads Trimble 28-8. And we still have no update from the township, Brad.
I'll see if I can get on the horn and get somebody to give us a score on that.
We're waiting for an update on the Unioto and Huntington game. At the half, Chillicothe leads Waverly 35-12. And Jackson still leads Western Brown 21-14. What a game by the Ironmen tonight, at least in the first half. As second half action is underway, the Vikings kick off, and the Meigs Marauders pick it up at the 18. And a nice spin move there to get to the 30-yard line was Imboden.
Kickoff was 42 yards, picked up by.
So Meigs will start the second half
Picked up by
at the
Connor
32.
Imboden.
We'll see if the Marauders make some adjustments on offense and get things turned around here as the Vikings lead 23-0, Brad. They've got to do it not necessarily in a hurry, but you've got to show something at least on this drive.
Yeah, you need to have some positives here. A couple of first downs, 2 or 3 first downs, Score would be great.
So Cleveland back in the game under center. And a handoff there. Nothing doing as the Vikings stuffed Howard there at the line of scrimmage. Actually lost maybe 2 on the play.
Our defensive line has played well tonight.
Entire defense has played well, Brad.
Yes.
I know we talk about the secondary a lot, but yeah, the defensive line. I mean, right now, Meigs, at least according to our statistician, -2 yards rushing right now in the third quarter.
That's impressive.
And that's with Cleveland's runs in the second quarter. As he looks to pass this time, looking downfield, throws to the corner. It's caught and tackled at the 29 was Metzger.
It's a loss of 1.
So, Brad, even when they, and I said this in the first half, but even when they get out in space, the defensive backs of the Vikings fly to the ball, force Meigs to kind of retreat to try to make something happen, and they wind up, you think the pass goes for 7-8 yards, and you look up, and it's a loss of 1 or no gain.
When that ball was first thrown, I thought, okay, they're going to get about half the yards they need. You look up at the sticks, and, it's behind the line of scrimmage.
So a big third down here for Meigs, 3rd and 13. Ball's on the 29. Cleveland drops back to pass, looks to the left side, got a man open. And it's going to be in and out of the hands of Fott for the second time, Brad. Fott could have 2 picks right now. Maybe 2 pick sixes right now. But most importantly, Brad, the Vikings defense forced Meigs to punt on that opening drive of the second half.
If you're a Vinton County fan, that's what we wanted to see. And great read by Fott there on that play.
Again, finding the seams.
Yeah, they have kind of burned us in the seams.
So Imboden will punt again for the Marauders. Ball's on the 28-yard line. And the dangerous Matt Hembry back on the 35 awaiting the punt. Snaps low and gets the punt away. It's It's going to bounce at the 42, and it's going to take a big Marauders roll down near the 20. Going to be touched at the 21-yard line. What a punt by Imbo.
And that's what they need. They need to control some of this field here. Flip the field. See if they can get a few stops on us, get down on this side offensively. And, you know, one score would probably really help get them a little confidence going.
Absolutely, yes.
48-yard punt.
So the Vikings force Meigs to punt on their first possession of the second half. 10:15 to go in this one in the third quarter.
On the 21-yard line.
We'll see if the Vikings in the offense moving in that first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. But Meigs defense really playing well to end that first half, as there's a handoff up the middle. That's going to be Lane Habern on the carry again. He gets 7-8 yards, Brad, up the gut.
Working up the middle for the small guy.
Earning every yard. And the Vikings up to the line quickly, Brad.
I like it. I like the pace. Good things have been happening when we've went to this.
Mollahan, hands off. Habern up the gut again, gets through the hole and picks up a first down as he's brought down by Zach Goebel. Again, though, Brad, that's a defensive lineman being drugged by the running back 10 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Which is really surprising. You know, Lane, we've just never perceived Lane as that type of running back.
So the Vikings pick up a first down there on the 38-yard line. 9:33 to go, third quarter. Mollahan under center, hands off. Habern again, finds the hole, picks up 5. Still on his feet across the 50-yard line.
Yeah, this may be one of those breakout games for the super sophomore.
He picks up another Viking first down to the 49, and the Vikings back up to the line. Really trying to wear down this Meigs defense, as we've got a whistle here and a timeout. Brad, is that a direct response to this up-tempo offense we're seeing right now?
Maybe. I'm sure he wants to get his guys over and say, listen, we've got to get set prior to what we normally are used to, getting to, you know, into that 15, 18 seconds into the clock. We got to get set a little quicker. They're going up-tempo here.
So 9:13 to go, and the Marauders burn their first timeout of the second half. So they'll be down to 2 timeouts, and that could come into play if this thing tightens up late in the game. As the Vikings, so far, it's been the Lane Habern show on this drive, Brad.
I'm sure Meigs will want to make some line adjustments here, too, to see if they can't stop that from him coming out through those gaps so easily.
So the Vikings with a stop on defense to start the second half. And offensively, looking pretty good here in the third quarter, as they'll have it 1st and 10 on the 49.
Going to give Lane a break and bring Mr. Brown back in.
Vikings with 2 wide receivers to the far side. Habern, and there's Hembry is in motion, and there's another false start against the Meigs Marauders. Again, that motion, Brad, has really taken a toll on this Meigs defensive line.
I don't know what it is they're looking at there that they're drawing that off of, but as many times as we've done it, I'm sure we've worked on it all week trying to do something to draw them.
The Vikings 1st and 5 now, 44. And there's going to be a pitch and a fumble by Brown, and it's going to be recovered by Brown. So he's going to pick up 3 yards on the exchange there.
That's just kind of the epitome of what's happened this evening. I mean, you fumble the ball, it goes forward, and we still get 3-yard gain out of it.
So Ratchke in, Hembry out.
Was made by number 7, Logan Eskew.
Habern back in the game.
2nd and 2.
In the backfield. Vikings need 2 yards for a first down. They give it to Habern, and Habern squirts through, picks up the first down and a few more. Down to the 36-yard line.
Do you brand him that bruiser back? I mean, he's not really a bruiser, but he's doing all the work inside.
I'm not sure, Brad. He's squirting through.
I know, but over the years of watching that young man play, have you ever seen him run between the tackles like that?
He's never really had to, Brad. He could always outrun the edge.
Speak the truth.
And this time, it's going to be a keeper by Mollahan. He bounces the outside, and he tight ropes down the sideline for a first down. Picks up 12 yards on the play.
I think this might be the quickest burst I've seen out of Zeke all season. I mean, he just looks really, really quick this evening.
He walked the line there for about 8 yards.
Yeah.
And picks up that first down. Ball's at the 25. Vikings looking pretty good here, Brad, to start the third quarter. Again, Habron in the backfield. Brown in motion. It's going to be a keeper by Mollahan, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. There's a flag on the play and a Marauder down. This could be a hold against the Vikings. As Mollahan. Really the first time that Mollahan wasn't able to escape and at least get back to the line, Brad.
Yeah, it was a good choice by him. He had the ball in Lane's belly and decided at the last minute to pull back and try to do something himself. There wasn't much going to happen right there on that play.
So the ball is spotted on the 33-yard line. We await the call, and we expect it to be a hold. And if you're Meigs, do you accept the penalty, though? Having a loss of 7 there, Brad, do you take the 7-yard loss and the loss of down?
I think you take the 7-yard loss and the loss of down.
So we'll take a moment here to thank our sponsors. Adena Health Systems, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, and Strickland Sales and Service, as we have a timeout for an injury here. Brad, the Vikings on this drive here in the second half, I mean, again, we talked about it at times in the first half. It's been the Lane Habron show in this third quarter so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been giving it to the sophomore and just kind of riding him, and he's been the workhorse so far here late in the second quarter and so far in the third, doing some things we've not seen Lane do, and that's, you know, the tough yards up the middle.
So it was actually a flag on Meigs. It was a personal foul on the Marauder, so the Vikings will have it first down and 10 from the 14, Brad, as they're up to the line quickly as the injured Marauder walks off the field. That's good to see. The young man putting some pressure on that leg. And we hope it's nothing serious. 7:59 to go, third quarter, Brad. The Vikings trying to extend this lead to 30 and put the running clock rule into play. First and 10. Pitches to Garrett Brown. He's going to try to find the hole. He bowls his way across the 10 inside. Down to the 6-yard line goes Garrett Brown, Brad, and we've seen Garrett Brown get hit. He runs over people. We've seen Layden Habron get through the hole. Garrett Brown is a bruiser type that just goes through.
They complement each other well. That was a good aggressive run by Garrett there.
A pickup of 8 yards. The Vikings will have it 2nd and 2 from the 6. Mollahan with it, hands to Habron, and Habron gets inside the 5 down to the 2 as he was swallowed up there.
Another injury.
Official timeout.
And we've got another timeout here as the Meigs Marauders.
He's up.
Now that was Garrett Roberts made the tackle on that play as brought Habron down at the 1-yard line, Brad, and the Vikings will have it first and goal from the 1 now. We'll see if they decide to sneak Zeke up the middle and follow that offensive line into the end zone. Meigs stacking the box. Mollahan, hands off, and into the end zone goes the sophomore, Lane Habron, for another score, Brad. Second touchdown of the night for Lane Habron. Dare I say, breakout game for the sophomore.
he's a kid that's been on our radar for several years, doing it the way we didn't expect him to do it either.
Right.
You know, being that workhorse back, and he's more kind of an explosive scat back type of kid.
So Cooper Havern going to try to extend this lead to 30 and initiate the running clock here. A high snap, good hold there by Brisker, and the kick's up and good. And now the Vikings with a 30-0 lead on the Meigs Marauders, Brad. The running clock rule will be in effect after the kickoff. Only timeouts, only team timeouts, official timeouts, and scores will stop the clock from this point unless Meigs can get some points on the board and
get her back under
tighten
30.
this up. Yeah. So 6:48 to go in this one, Brad, and the Vikings lead 30-0. More impressive tonight, offense or defense?
I'm impressed by both, really. I mean, I didn't expect us defensively to be as aggressive as we've been, but Meigs' offense is sputtering a little bit still. They're still not real smooth. I really expected them to put up some points tonight, so I'm a little more impressed by us defensively. The offense is starting to come into view here. We're starting to become what I kind of figured we would be.
Yep. So far, 64 points in the last 6 quarters. Right?
That's great, especially the way things started out, you know, early in the season.
So Cooper Havern going to kick it, and it's another squib. This one picked up by number 8 and brought down at the 48 was Joe Metzger, the junior. Again, this is a underclassmen-dominated team, Brad. This is a Meigs team that has put points on the board this year. I know they had some injuries coming into this game, but man, you gotta be happy with at least the youth on this team. You know that's going to be coming back next year. You know, sure they're being thrown to the fire tonight, but you know overall they've had some success this season.
Yeah, and they've got a couple juniors out right now that are going to get healthy towards the end of the year, and they'll be back, and you'll see them improve as the season wears on.
So here's a handoff up the middle, nothing there. Brisker on the stop there as Howard, really nothing doing again, Brad, on the ground. And, you know, honestly, with the exception of Cleveland, there's really nobody been running the ball for positive yards.
No, not at all. Got another injury.
It's like a cramp here.
Let's hope so. We don't want to see anybody get hurt in a game like this. It's semi out of hand and really kind of over.
So 5:38 to go. We've got an injury timeout. And we want to thank our sponsors again. We can't thank them enough. Adena Health Systems, BCR, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, Strickland Sales and Service. And don't just listen to us read these sponsors, but you know, if you are in need of, you know, anything from healthcare to masonry work to restoration, sales, you know, with Strickland, go out and use these people. I mean, these people are local. They give back to the community. And, you know, it's not just here, but it's at our sister stations in Oak Hill and at Wellston. You know, these people step up year after year. So, you know, we encourage you to
not only
to
just
use
here,
these.
they do it for the other communities here in the Jackson and Vinton County area.
So Howard walking off the field for the Marauders as they will have it 2nd down and 10 as the clock starts up again, Brad. 5:35 to go. So as slow as that first half was, this might be a quick one here in the second half.
You're right.
Make 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line.
Cleveland with it in the shotgun formation here, 4 wide receivers. And it's going to be Cleveland keeping it. Looks like run all the way, and Owen Heyer. My goodness, Owen Heyer.
Chased him down, didn't he?
That's a fast man.
It is. He's rather large, you know, he's over 6 foot tall, and to chase down Griffin Cleveland is saying something from behind.
And that's the 2nd time he's done it tonight.
Yeah.
So a loss of 4.
14.
And again, the Vikings defense just punishing Meigs. As we're now 4:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. So a big play for the Vikings D. Crowd getting into it as Cleveland looks downfield. He's got all kinds of time. Now he's rushed to the right. And he's going to throw back across the middle and a nice catch.
Oh, there we go. On the board now.
And the Marauders are going to score. And there's a little bit of showboating there.
Hey, the running clock comes off. We've got a ball game again.
Peyton Vanawegen taking it to the house. A little bit of, I'm not sure I like that, Brad, at the end there.
That's a little frustration.
Well, I mean, you're down 30-0, Brad. So I don't agree with that. Listen, my favorite player in the NFL, not just because he's on my team, but it's Nick Chubb. He scores and he hands the ball to the referee.
You're old school.
Let the play on the field showcase, right?
Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying.
So the Marauders going to go for 2 here. 30-6 is the score. The Vikings up with 4:21 to go. The running clock does come off after that long touchdown pass, and Cleveland looks to Eskew, and it's just through his hands. So now the Vikings need another score to get that rolling clock back, Brad. Again, we talked about Meigs and their potential for big plays. You just saw it right there. A little bit of congestion on the defensive side of the ball for the Vikings when that pass was caught, but nonetheless was able to squirt through for a 56-yard touchdown pass from Cleveland to
you see what they're capable of right there. You see what they're capable of, and we're probably going to see a little bit more of that here.
So Meigs on the board with 4:21 to go in the third quarter. 30-6 is the score. Check, see if we have some updated scores, Brad. Let's see if you've got that update from the township there we're waiting on.
I'm being told 28-8 Unioto.
Okay, that's about what we expected. Nelson York leads 27-6 now. The Raiders on the board. That's in the third quarter. Northwest extends their lead over Oak Hill 19-7. Wellston on the board against Portsmouth West now 49-7.
Good to see them score.
Gallia over Chesapeake 35-0. That was a halftime score. Brad, 28-19. Waterford is inching ever so closer to the Fort Fry Cadets. That would be the upset of the century.
Well, maybe century, I don't know, but definitely the upset of the season so far.
All the hype surrounding Fort Fry as Meigs kicks this one off, and that's in a tough spot for the Vikings. As looked like Woltz kicked it out of bounds.
Yeah, he said, get it out of here.
And there's going to be a flag.
I thought that was coming.
Marauders kick went out of bounds.
So we'll see if they call that on the Meigs kicker or if they call that on Brady Woltz. And I think they're going to call that on the kick, Brad.
That he kicked it out of bounds? So
well,
Brady didn't touch it?
It's the far side of the field, Brad. I'm not sure if Brady touched it, but it looked like he did give a kicking motion.
I thought he tried to at least.
The ball was in a tough spot. I mean, they kicked it to an open hole. So the Vikings will have it on the 35. So they actually gain 2 or 3 yards on that kick out of bounds. That's what they're ruling. So we'll see if the Vikings ground game can travel 65 yards here for a score. There's a crisscross play. This time it's Ratchke's got it, and he's going to be drugged down by Cleveland after a pickup of about 1. Now, Brad, they defended that play very well tonight. It's the second time they've run it, the opposite side of the field, and the first time the defensive line was there. This time you had a linebacker move up and make the tackle.
It's been able to kind of string that play out, wait for their teammates to come help them.
So the clock rolling, the Vikings have it. 2nd down and 9. Ball's on the 36. Again, this is a key defensive stop here for Meigs if they can get one. Try to get some more momentum back after that big pass play for a touchdown. And there's a handoff. Habron. This time he's met at the line, picks up about 3 yards. Gets up to near the 40-yard line. It'll set up a big 3rd down and 5, Brad. And I think at this point, if the Vikings don't pick this up, I think you're going to see a punt. So this is a big play for the Meigs defense. As the clock continues to roll, we're down to 3:10
3rd and 5.
Left in the third quarter. Abram in the backfield. Vikings in the tee. Motion goes Brown. He gets the handoff, and he's up the middle, and he's only going to pick up about a yard, Brad. So now it's 4th down and 4. Again, 2:50 to go. Clock's rolling. What's the call?
Well, looks like we're going to punt it.
Tackle was made by number 66 of the Marauders, Jesse Young.
Again, I think it's a safe thing to do.
Yeah,
The way that Raschke's been punting the football, you know, you got to believe that this is going to be near the 20-yard line. So, yeah, I force Meigs into a much larger field than what they would if we went for it on 4th and didn't get it. And Raschke could also take this and run. And he does not. He kicks. Another good kick. This is going to be fielded by Imboden at the 15. He misses, makes one man miss. He's across the 35 and to the 41-yard line.
I heard the coaches over here saying, run, 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 run. So that must have been on the table.
Yes.
For Gabe to be able to run if he wanted to roll out and run.
When we talked about this last year when we played Wellston in Week 10, Brenton Breach did the same thing. We saw throughout the game, do the rugby style, and we called it. We called it back then. We said, man, there's literally nobody over here. He's going to tuck and run at least at some point. And they did do that late in that game. Now, this is Week 4, Brad. So do you want to show that now, or do you want to hold it?
Probably hold it
for later.
But again, coaches are screaming it, so I'm kind of thinking it's going to come here sooner than later.
2 minutes, 7 seconds.
So the Marauders have it, 1st and 10, 41-yard line. 2:07 to go in the third quarter, and the Marauders need another quick score, Brad. And Cleveland's looking to pass, looking for the screen, now rushed. And picked off by Gabe Raschke, the second pick of the game, and he might take this one to the house, Brad. Gabe. He's across the 30, cuts back. Block. And he's going to be brought down at the 25. A big shot there.
Yeah.
But Gabe Raschke steps in front and picks off his second interception tonight, Brad. And all the momentum Meigs had going their way, Gabe Raschke just swallowed that up.
Yeah, that's a backbreaker right there.
1:52 to go, third quarter now, Brad. The Vikings have it at the 25-yard line, and a score here will all but seal this one.
Yeah, you can put your running clock back on if you can score a touchdown here.
So the Vikings now with Garrett Brown in the backfield with Mollahan, 2 wide receivers to the near side. And there's going to be a keeper. Mollahan keeps it. He's got a hole up the middle. He's across the 20.
Vision.
Into the 15-10. He's going to take this one all the way. Touchdown by the senior quarterback. What a read, Brad.
Yeah, that cutback was amazing. I didn't see it. He saw it last second and was able to dodge to the right and scamper his way to the corner of the end zone.
So just like that, the Vikings back up on top by 30, Brad. 36-6, 1:42 to go in the third quarter. As the fireworks. And the crowd loves it, Brad. The crowd loves the fireworks.
It's on the agenda to try to get it back next year. There's just a whole lot of hoops we got to jump through to get it back.
And the extra point try is no good. Pulled it to the left.
It was no good.
So the Vikings, 36-6, Brad. The running clock will begin once again on the kickoff.
Great run by Mollahan there. That was field vision is impeccable.
Marauders with a minute, 42 seconds to play.
Absolutely, and we've seen that. We saw it a little bit last week. We're seeing it again this week. This week you throw in, you know, the Lane Habron, and it's just a nice mix. You got Zeke that can take it. You got Lane that can take it. You got Garrett Brown still. Hembry when you get it to him, you know, in the open space. You know, there's a lot of talent on this field, and I think, you know, after the first couple of weeks, there were a lot of people out there questioning whether or not, you know, this team was going to live up to the hype that a lot of people had for them. And boy, the last 2 weeks, Brad, they've delivered.
We knew they were deep. You're starting to see some of that talent in the backfield, especially. And honestly, it seems like every quarter, Zeke is just growing more and more confident in his ability to facilitate the ball. Not only run it, but get the ball out on the corner on the pitch.
So Hayburn kicks it deep and brought back to the 36-yard line was number 36, Wyatt Howard. So again, Meigs, really field position has not been an issue for the Marauders. They've started near midfield just about all night tonight.
Yeah, just early on struggled with the snaps, and now you know it's an obvious passing situation, and I think Vinton County just kind of standing back and waiting to try to pick those passes off.
Vikings in much more of a prevent defense this quarter. We'll see if Meigs can try to connect on another big play here as we've got. Is this an illegal substitution, Brad?
I didn't watch the far sideline, so I don't know, but I'd say you're probably correct.
Let's see what the call is from the referee. It is a 5-yard penalty on Meigs. An illegal substitution, Brad.
You were correct.
Penalty flag on the play. Illegal substitution on the Marauders.
So Meigs up to the line very quickly, trying to catch Vinton County with too many men on the field.
Yeah, Falk come running off there.
And there's a handoff, and met
Nice
right at the
stop.
line.
Cleveland hands off to Wyatt Howard.
That was Howard on the carry, and I think that was Ratchke on the stop.
I couldn't tell who it was on the stop.
Maybe 34. Eli Potter was in on that too, and that's going to end the third quarter, Brad.
4 fingers in the air.
4 fingers in the air, and 12 minutes away from a 1-0 start in TVC Ohio play, Brad. I think a lot of people kind of looked at this game as, okay, who is going to compete with Nelsonville York to win the league? And I think a lot of people circled this game as, you know what, whoever comes out of this one 1-0 is going to be the team to have that opportunity to upset Nelsonville York in this
I
conference.
agree. I think it was kind of us three, Meigs, Vinton County, and Nelsonville. Wellston's had a lot of struggles. You know, they're kind of going to be down towards the bottom. We really don't know what Alexander has yet, but they've, you know, they continue to figure out wins.
Quietly, possibly 3-1.
Well, yeah, they figure out ways to win. You know, River Valley struggling a little bit with Nelsonville right now. We really don't know what Athens is yet. You know, one minute we think they're better than we really thought they were, and the next minute they're letting us down a little bit. So, yeah, I think these two teams right here on this field and Nelsonville are probably your top 3 teams in the TVC to vie for that title.
Cole Grove continuing their hot start, up 30-7 against South Point.
Meigs ball, second down 14.
Jackson and Western Brown now tied up at 21 all.
That's got to be an exciting one. Jackson's been in several exciting ones so far this season.
They have, and what a loaded schedule for the Iron Man.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'm not sure there's a tougher schedule in Southeast Ohio than what the non-conference is.
They've been in every one of those.
And they have. They could just as easily as they could start the season 0-5, Brad, they could be 5-0.
I agree.
Before they start FAC play in a couple weeks.
Yeah, as soon as our games are over, that's usually the first game I tune to on the radio to figure out what's going on with them.
And the way that Chillicothe has kind of impressed so far this season, boy, that Week 10 game looks like it's going to be for the title.
It's going to be a clash. That's all right.
23, Athens 0.
Alexander, we just heard, 23, Athens 0 as this third down play is underway. Cleveland looking to pass, and he's going to be caught from behind by Owen Heyer. Another big tackle by the big number 50.
You can see him chasing him down. Just hold on that ball long enough for me to get to you. Come on, Griff.
What a defensive game by Owen Heyer. 36-6, the Vikings lead. It's now 4th down and 10. And it looks like Meigs.
If they punt the ball here, they're pretty much saying game over.
Yeah, they're going to punt as Imboden goes back. Now, Imboden does do the rugby style, so we'll see if maybe this could be a keeper.
Comes Cleveland.
Imboden back to punt for Marauders.
We'll get back to that Athens and Alexander score here in a minute as the punt is away.
Beautiful
Another
punt.
good punt, a fair catch called for by Hembry, and he's going to bring it in at the 25-yard line. Brad, 23-0. Alexander leads Athens in, you know, what a lot of people from both schools think is their biggest rival, or could be their biggest rivalry. One of, I know Nelsonville York has something to say about that Athens rivalry. But, you know, those two schools separated by like 7 minutes. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with us and Wellston. Bragging rights on the line. Alexander doesn't really get Athens all that often, and the fact that they're shutting them out here in the second half over in Albany, that's got to say that's a statement game for. We just talked about maybe the big 3. It might be the big 4 now with Alexander.
It very well could be, but what surprises you the most there? Is it the lack of offensive power out of Athens, or is it?
I think it's the defensive issues for the Bulldogs, because offensively it's been a struggle every game this year. It doesn't matter who the team is. The Vikings take it now, 1st and 10, handoff to Ratchke, and he breaks 1 tackle and is going to be brought down by Wade Howard at the 30 or the 27-yard line. Pick up 2 yards, and the clock's continuing to roll now to 9 minutes to go in the game here from Vinton County High School.
Well, we're talking about Athens and Alexander. We get to see those guys on back-to-back weeks coming up. You know, we travel to Athens next week, get to come home for homecoming for Alexander.
That'll be our next game on air. Will be the Alexander home game in 2 weeks. Clock continuing to roll now. If you're the Vikings, it's what you want to see. As the handoff is to Brown. He's got a big hole up the middle. He's across the 35, stumbling across the 40 to the 42. Big run by Garrett Brown, the junior. Right down at the 41-yard line, and that clock's still rolling. And I think if you're the Vikings here, you just run right at him, Brad. Try to milk this clock down.
You're probably going to get a steady dose of Mr. Brown and Mr. Ratchke, probably.
1st and 10, handoff to Brown again. Met this time after a 4-yard pickup. That was Humphreys, Wyatt Humphreys on the tackle there for Meigs. Nice tackle. Vikings still quick to the line, Brad.
Yeah, going to push the pace.
Another handoff. Brown through a hole, across the 50 to the 45.
Hang on to it, Garrett.
Still moving across the 40 to the 37-yard line, Brad.
I love it. Coach is fired up, too. He likes to see the boys grind it out.
Leaving no doubt. 7:22 to go, 4th quarter. Vikings lead 36-6 and are on their way to a 1-0 start in TVC Ohio play. Ball's on the 38-yard line. This time, Mollahan keeps it. He's rushed. Got a hole. Across the 30. And he's going to take it to the house, Brad. Zeke Mollahan, and he's going to waste a little bit of clock. No showboating there. Well, maybe a little. And the Vikings score again, 42-6 on the Meigs Marauders. Brad, you said the first 1 to 40 wins. I think you're right.
I am, but I didn't expect it to be 42-6. You know, I was thinking somebody was going to probably score 30 and the other team was going to score 40, but we'll take it.
And the crowd goes wild, Brad. It's like we've never seen a firework before.
No.
So Brisker will do the holding here for Hayburn. Snap back, and the kick is to the left.
Oh, wow.
Back-to-back misses. 42-6, Brad. The Vikings lead. 6:57 to go in this one.
I saw the lights, and I thought it was fireworks again.
Yeah. Brad, I'm just happy that you've not been attacked by a Manus.
You're right. This will be it's not over yet.
Well, we still have some time.
It'll be the first week that I haven't had a Manus come after me.
Yes. Again, I hate those things.
Well, that's the reason I take them out for you before they get to you.
I appreciate that, Brad. Nelsonville York extending their lead 34-6 over River Valley. That game down in Bidwell.
They'll eventually get it figured out down there at River Valley. They've got some good coaches and some real good kids, some talented kids. I know last week, I think the Conkle kid got knocked out of the game.
Was out of the game last week, yeah. Fort Fry leads Waterford now 42-19. Still got to be impressed with that Waterford Wildcat team, putting up a fight against a Fort Fry team that really, I mean, a lot of people probably thought it would be 50-0, Brad, to be quite honest with you. Wheelersburg all over Ashland Blazer, Kentucky 35-7.
That was a 7-7 ball game early.
It was 7-7 as the kick is away. Imboden with it from the 25. cuts back to the left, spin move, and Dawson Brown and a host of the Vikings take him down there. And again, the Marauders with good field position to start a drive. We've said it all night long. New Lex over West Muskingum in the battle of undefeated NVL schools, 20-7, Brad. Does that surprise you that, number one, that New Lex is beating West End, but the fact that both teams came in 3-0, Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have expected that coming into the season.
So Meigs will have it as we're down to 5:50 to go in this one. And bouncing to the outsides, Cleveland calling for a block and tackled. That was Braden Madison on the tackle.
Yeah, starting to see a few different numbers out there we're not used to. A few of the younger Vikings getting in there. Still got a few of your junior and senior leaders out there.
Logan leads Warren 17-14 in the fourth quarter.
That's kind of surprising to me.
So the Alexander game, they have a blocked punt for a touchdown.
Ooh,
heck of a tackle. Iron with a tackle there. They have a blocked punt for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, and a safety. So the defense, Brad, scoring all the points for the Spartans.
Coming to play, aren't they?
So Meigs picks up 4 there, 5. There to be second down 5, 4:36 to go. Clock rolling, 42-6 here. Vikings lead.
Second down 6.
Cleveland with it, hands off, up the middle, and brought down.
Handoff goes to Wade Howard.
Eli Lambert taking Howard down as we've got some more laundry on the field, Brad.
Yeah.
A little bit of emotions taken over here late in this one. As Coach Carper out there quickly to get his players back. Let's see what this call is. The play was for 4 yards. It'll be a personal foul against the Marauders and a personal foul against the Vikings. So we'll stop the clock here with 4:06 to go. We'll get a timeout by the Vikings. It'll be second down and about 2, I believe.
Hey, I haven't mentioned officials any tonight, like I have in 2 weeks previous.
You haven't. It's been a well officiated game I believe, Brad.
They've been significantly absent in this game.
Yes, and that's what you want.
Yes.
So 3rd and 2 for the Marauders, 4-down territory here. Cleveland, low snap, drops back, looks to pass. Now he's running to his right. And in through the hands was Dustin Vance. Would have been a first down, Brad, by a couple yards. That'll be 4th down and 2. Clock now down to 3:33 to go.
4th down 2 from the Vikings.
I would say Mr. Cleveland keeps the ball in his hands this time. Tries to secure this first down himself.
And the Vikings with a mix of second teamers out there on defense.
Meigs to the line real quick.
Well, that's because the play clock was down to 0, Brad.
Play clock.
And Cleveland's going to pick up the first down by about a yard.
If Meigs was going to get that first down, it was going to be Griff carrying that ball.
Tackle was made by the Vikings.
Little extracurricular again.
No laundry that time. I think the referees are just trying to
get through these last 2 minutes.
Get this one over with here.
We're going to go over and I'm sure talk to somebody. Probably give them a warning.
Clock continuing to roll now down to 2:35.
Both sides tell them, listen, we got 2 minutes here. We hear any more out of anybody or have any issue, we're just going to eject you.
Well, and that's something you don't want because that means you'll have to set for the next game. As Brad, it's Bo Ray time.
Is it Bo Ray time?
It's Bo Ray time.
Yes.
Bo Ray enters the game for the Vikings at nose guard.
Normally you get the cheers. Usually you get the Bo Ray
you
chants.
got a few cheers from Bo Ray.
Yeah.
Cleveland back to pass, being rushed. Now he's going to take it and run. And ran out of bounds. Didn't really want any contact from Owen Heyer that time, did he?
He didn't want anything to do with Mr. Heyer.
He's seen number 50 quite a few times.
Somehow I think Griff's on the ground again there. I got tangled up with a coach or something. Maybe he got tangled up in, I don't know when he got tangled up in.
I'm not sure. So pickup of 6 yards, 1:30 to go in the fourth quarter here from Vinton County High School.
33-yard line, pickup of 6.
The Vikings trying to keep the Marauders off the board for a second score. Cleveland looking to pass. Throws a dart, and it's going to be in and out of the hands of Hembry.
Hembry's like, he just threw it right to Hembry.
That's the third time tonight, Brad. We've dropped sure interceptions.
That's the hardest one to catch, one that's just thrown right to you.
So we're under a minute to play.
Hembry will hit the replay button on that a few times in the morning to see what was going on there.
Third down and 5 for the Meigs Marauders. And the Vikings are 40 seconds away, Brad, from moving to 1-0 in the TVC Ohio.
Meigs is going to run one more play here, and then we're going to line up and shake hands and move to 1-0.
Cleveland just goes down this time as the Vikings rush was there. And with 18 seconds left, Brad, that may do it.
I think that's it. I'm really kind of interested to see what this Viking defense held the Marauders to as far as total yards tonight.
And that's going to do it, Brad. The Vinton County Vikings win their second game in a row by a score of 42-6 over the Meigs Marauders. Even their record to 2-2 on the season. The teams will not shake hands.
Yeah, there's too many little things happen there late in this game. That's probably smart on both sides. I like that.
For the Vikings, head down to ring the bell as the fireworks shoot off, as they even their record on the season to 2-2, and a 1-0 in the TVC Ohio, Brad.
Hey, move on to next week. Head to Athens. Athens looks like they're going to be 0-1 going into TVC play. Really kind of excited to go on the road, see how we react, after that week 1 road loss.
Right.
But TVC teams are pretty well versed in each other, so I'm sure Athens will be ready to go for us.
Absolutely. So the Vikings next week will travel to the Plains to take on the Athens Bulldogs. Again, Athens losing to Alexander, yet to pick up a win on this season so far for the Bulldogs. The Vikings will move to 2-2 on the season. Meigs will go back home to Rock Springs to take on the River Valley Raiders in what's kind of been a little, geographical rivalry between the two teams in the TVC Ohio. That's going to be a big game next week.
Yeah, I think so, especially if they can get healthy and get a few of their starters back. They got a real good chance of coming out of there with a win.
So Meigs looking forward to the rest of their season. They have River Valley at home, then they travel to Nelsonville, York, and then they have a triple header at home. The Athens Bulldogs on September 30th, and then they play their non-conference game against Marietta. A very winnable game, in my opinion, for the Marauders before they end their homestand in 2022 against the Wellston Rockets. Again, another winnable game. And the Alexander Spartans, we really don't know how good they are, but they're going to be sitting here at 3-1 after tonight, Brad.
Yeah, I mean,
biggest surprise in the TVC Ohio.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to see some film and view some of the stats.
We
really
will
see what's doing it.
We
for
will
them.
get to see some film of
That's
both
true.
Alexander and
probably tomorrow
Athens this week. So that's something we can look forward to and see just how they're doing it, man. They're impressive so far.
Sounds like it's on both sides of the ball anyways.
Absolutely. So we've got some stats here we'll read over. We'll go with scoring plays. In the first quarter, 9:41 to go. Zeke Mullahan with a 41-yard touchdown run. At the 8:32 mark, the Vikings, Matt Hembry, a 25-yard pass from Mullahan. In the second quarter, 9:32, Cooper Habron with a 25-yard field goal. 4:07 in the second quarter, Lane Habron with an 18-yard run. 6:48 mark, Lane Habron with a 1-yard run. Meigs at 4:21 in the third quarter. Van Owagen 56-yard pass from Griffin Cleveland for their only score of the night. The 1:42 mark of the third quarter, Zeke Mullahan with a 25-yard run. And the 6:57 mark of the fourth quarter, Zeke Mullahan 38-yard run. First downs, Meigs had 5. Vinton County with 21. Meigs had 25 rushes for 20 yards, Brad. Vinton County 46 rushes, 331 yards. The Vikings finished the game with 41 yards passing. No real need to pass in the second half.
No, but I would have guessed more than that. It felt like more than that.
71 passing yards for the Marauders, again helped by that 56-yard touchdown pass in the third quarter. Total yards, Meigs had 41 plays for 91 total yards. The Vikings 51 plays for 372 total yards. Meigs with 4 punts for a 40.2 average. That's pretty solid average for high school. Vinton County with 2 punts, 33-yard average. Again, Ratchke right around that mid-30 to 40-yard average again this week, Brad.
I'll take it every week.
Penalties, 8 penalties for 74 yards for the Meigs Marauders, Brad. They had 91 total yards and 74 penalty yards. That's a backbreaker.
Yes.
The Vikings had 6 penalties for 47 yards, so still an area that needs worked.
Again, we'll talk about it. You know, that's something we want to see cleaned up because eventually it's going to end up costing you a game at some point.
Let's see. Time of possession. This is interesting. 24:52 for Meigs, 23:08 for the Vikings. Meigs wins the time of possession in this one. Third down conversions. Meigs, 1 of 10. Vinton County, 1 of 5. So not a game, not a very good game on third down for either team tonight. As a total of 2 of 15 combined. Fourth downs, Meigs was 2 of 3, and the Vikings were 0 of 1.
A little surprising.
The Vikings in the red zone were 3 for 3, and the Marauders were 0 for 1, and the Vikings had 3 sacks for a total of 17 yards. So the defense played very well.
That red zone 3 of 3 will win a lot of games. That'll
Absolutely,
help you.
especially in the TBC Ohio. Rushing for the Vikings, Zeke Mullahan with 142 yards rushing, Lane Habron with 93 yards rushing, Garrett Brown with 73 yards rushing, Gabe Raschke with 16 yards rushing, and Matt Hembry with 7 yards rushing. Passing, Griffin Cleveland had 6 of 16 for 71 yards with 2 interceptions. Mullahan was 2 of 5 for 41 yards, again, same as in the first half, all in the first half. Van Owagen receiving for the Marauders, 2 receptions, 61 yards. Good game by him. And Bowden had 1 reception for a negative 10 yards. And the Vikings, again, Matt Embry, 2 receptions for all 41 yards. Interceptions, Gabe Ratchke, 2.
It's not a bad game.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Gabe Ratchke, the offensive juggernaut last year, turning into the defensive phenom this year.
Yeah.
Fumbles, Griffin Cleveland had 2. Logan Eskew had 1. Wade Howard had 1. And Vinton County did not lose a fumble tonight. So that's positive moving forward.
Yes.
The Marauders fall to 1-3 on the season, and the Vikings move to 2-2.
Most importantly,
1-0 in the TBC Ohio. So we'll take it.
Yes.
The Vikings, again, travel next week to the Athens Bulldogs to take on Nathan White's Bulldog team, looking for their first win of the season, we think. And then we play Alexander the following week back at home, Brad. And you don't necessarily overlook games, but, boy, that's not a game that we had circled. And that's going to be quite possibly, to that point, the biggest game in the TVC Ohio.
Who does Alexander play next week? Do you know?
I will look that up.
You know, they could be going into it 2-0.
The Alexander Spartans play Wellston next week.
See, and I hate to say it for Wellston. They struggle. They're struggling right now. And that could possibly be, you know, Alexander coming in at 4-1 and 2-0 in TVC play in that Week 6 matchup with us.
Right.
And we could basically be right behind them at 3-2 and 2-0 in the TVC play.
Could be a big game coming up next, the next home game here that we'll have for you on BMG Media. The Vikings then will travel to Warren and River Valley before they play their final home game against Nelsonville York on senior night. Again, looking ahead, Brad.
Well, that's the thing. If both us and Alexander take care of our business next week, that Week 6 showdown may be the player for who's going to go up against Nelsonville to win this TVC outright.
And then the Vikings, again, as always, finish up Week 10. They will travel to Wellston to take on the Rockets. So we've read over the stats. Brad, the score tonight, 42-6. The Vikings come out on top. Again, I asked you this earlier. I'll ask you one more time. Biggest surprise tonight, or maybe not surprise, but biggest takeaway, offense or defense for the Vikings?
The defense was impressive. You can't take anything away from them. Meigs was a little strapped as far as starters and offensive firepower. But the offense looked good. It was it had a lot of big plays. It had some consistency in there. Flashed a few things we hadn't seen. You got to see Lane Habron doing some things that we've not seen him do before by trying to run impressively between the tackles. Honestly, I was impressed on both sides of the ball. A little disappointed in what we saw from Meigs tonight. I really expected a lot more. Obviously, the players they were missing made a big difference in their game plan.
So, again, we want to thank our sponsors, Adina Health Systems, Buckeye Construction and Restoration, SF Restoration, Precision One Masonry, and Strickland Sales and Service. Brad, we've got to give an Adina Health Systems Player of the Game away. Multiple people could get this tonight, offense and defense. Now, this is your pick tonight. Now, I know who I would pick, and it might not be the flashy pick, but it was the most physical pick. So I'll let you cipher through who you want to pick.
I agree with you. I know who you're getting towards, number 50, right?
Number 50.
Mr. Owen Heyer. And I'm going to agree with you on this one. I mean, another fantastic night by Zeke. You almost penalize the kid because every week he's right there in that top 2 contending.
Yep. Big game by Habron.
It was a big game, a breakout game by Habron, doing some things that we just don't see in his game.
And Cooper with the field goal. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could go with this.
There is, but let's get to that defensive side of the ball. And I agree with you. I think we give this to Owen Heyer this week.
Owen Heyer, the Adina Health Systems Player of the Game for Week 4. What a game by Mr. Heyer.
Great game.
So the Vikings pick up a big win at home. They finish the homestand 2-1. They'll go on the road next week to Athens. The Vikings, again, one last time, pick up a 42-6 win over the Meigs Marauders. And we will be back 2 weeks from tonight when the Alexander Spartans, maybe 4-1 Alexander Spartans, come to town in what could be another gigantic TVC Ohio matchup here at Vinton County High School. So for one more time, 42-6, the Vikings win. For Brad Rose, my partner, I'm Nathan Lamb. This has been BMG Media's coverage of Viking football.
Go Vikes.